Jersey's 12th congressional district. Democrat Adam Hamawi has won his party's primary. This is the race to succeed the retiring Democrat Bonnie Watson Coleman.
Let's fucking go! Woo!
I'll see. Tomorrow is the last day to vote in California's gubernatorial primary, and it is not clear who's going to advance. According to a recent poll by the Public Institute of California, a clear frontrunner has yet to emerge.
I cannot believe that there's a British guy who's possibly going to make it to the top two. What a shame. What a shame. I don't think people are rocking with Tucker Carlson, but Kana, Ossoff, and Tallarico all score about the same. Yeah, I saw. Also, happy to not be included in this poll, for the record. Hilton and Pratt for you, Unc. Yeah, stop the boats, dude. That's what I say. Stop the boats, lad. We got too many British people coming in here, ruining a state that I love. What happened to Brexit, yeah? What about Calexit? Calexit means Calexit, lad. No more British people coming in, stealing our jobs, yeah? They're coming in here and they're stealing good American jobs, yeah? How many British people play American accents in Hollywood? Yeah, Pope is cooking. Jon Stewart's also cooking. Mark Kelly is very positive. John Ossoff is pretty decently positive. And then it's James Tallarico at +5, Rokana at +5, Pete Buttigieg at +1, Josh Shapiro at +1, AOC at -1, Kamala Harris at -3. This is broad approval, which means, of course, the more Republicans shit on you, the worse approval is going to be. But then also you got, the most polarizing figures like Donald Trump at -17, Don Jr. at -27, Tucker Carlson is -36. Yeah, he is, Spencer Pratt is so bad, dude.
Everything I ever spent money on, they act like I didn't have it. So yes, I spent all this money. I was also 22, 23 years old, was planning on being Kim Kardashian, rich and famous. So I wasn't hoarding my money like this was my one run at the game. If I didn't get unplugged, which that's the game.
You know what I really don't like about Spencer Pratt? I mean, everything, but specifically, you want to know why I really despise him? Because he's got stupid chud confidence. Okay? I've met a lot of guys like him in Los Angeles. My least favorite type of guy is stupid chud with like maxed out confidence, where it's like, yeah, dude. Yeah, I blew through $10 million. Yeah, who gives a... I was dumb. I was young. And the problem is that shit clicks with a lot of other stupid chuds. Okay? Yeah, he has that coworker energy. He's the closest thing by far to Trump personality-wise. Yeah, policy-wise, too. Your evening black pill? Oh, yeah. Here. This is... Start to creep. This is going to make me want to just completely end everything, but here it is. A rare Steyer Pratt voter.
Up, and we're seeing that in the people we talk to. Most of the people we've talked to today are voting for Steyer, including these two gentlemen who we just met. Gilbert, you're voting for Steyer. Why is that?
Sir. I think we should definitely give him a chance, being that with everything that's going on right now, he has an actual agenda on how to get it done versus other people haven't really had people in there to get it done. So that's the reason why I'm
Is your dog also supporting Steyer?
Oh, yeah, Steyer, right?
Ed, what about you, Ed? You also are supporting Steyer. You're a progressive. You're concerned about voting for a billionaire.
Yes, it was hard to vote for a billionaire, but at the end of the day, he is the one that I think is saying the most things that align with my personal values, and we're going to hold his feet to the fire and make sure he does those things.
So it's interesting, you both, who don't know each other before this, both are Democrats, and both have very different views when it comes to the mayor's race. You say Nithya Raman, the progressive Democratic Socialist council member, over Karen Bass. Why?
Well, I'm not a Democrat, but I do consider myself a leftist and a progressive. And while I wanted to vote for
that's a HasanAbi head.
Ray Huang, I think strategically it made more sense to vote for.
It was 100%. Is one of you? Which one? Come on. It's one of you that did
it. And shift everything left. And hopefully we'll get a more progressive mayor in the process.
Meanwhile, you as a Democrat are voting for Spencer Pratt.
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
I do like him.
Did it F? What happened? Small bean F? Small bean F? Small bean F? Okay. Dude. This guy voted for Tom Steyer for the governor and then voted for Spencer Pratt for for mayor.
For Spencer Pratt.
Yes, sir.
Why is that?
I do like his approach for the homelessness as a person who used to be homeless myself.
I think we should be killed. He's like, if someone like Spencer Pratt was the mayor while I was homeless, he would have killed me, which would have made my life much better, I guess. Incredible stuff.
I was rendered the services that he's talking about. I was able to change my life, 10 years sober with no alcohol and stuff like that. So his approach is really good. I do think it's fair for him to go off with the runoff with Karen Bass. This way both of them can go ahead and prove to me why they deserve my vote. So as of today, I'm doing it, yes, because I do like his approach and I do think he deserves a fair chance. But come November, it could be different.
Okay, it's been real.
What's his actual policy on homelessness? Just murdering them. You better start packing up the house, buddy. If you choose to live in Spencer Pratt's LA over Zoran's New York City, you'll never live it down. What do you think about Pratt's unconventional approach? LA voter.
He's a human person. He lives here. He knows what goes on.
What do you think about Pratt's unconventional
I love it.
approach?
I love it.
What is it that you love about it?
He's another Trump.
I mean, yeah, this is a 7,000-year-old lady, so that's not that surprising. Kornacki cam time, is it already starting? Oh shit! New Jersey, New
Very
Jersey, New
likely
Jersey,
the
New
winner of
Jersey,
this
New
will
Jersey,
be
New
the
Jersey,
next
New
member of
Jersey, New
Congress
Jersey,
from
New
this
Jersey, New
district. We'll
Jersey, New
discuss
Jersey, New
more
Jersey, New
details
Jersey.
of the
Adam
dynamics here
Hamawi,
again as
Adam
the vote will
Hamawi,
come in.
Adam
We expect
Hamawi.
the
Let's go,
results to start
let's go,
lining up in
let's
both
go,
of these
let's go,
districts,
let's go.
fairly quickly. While we wait for that, though, and by the way, if you were watching us last week, this is refreshing. Last week we came on the air at this time for the Texas Republican runoff for the Senate. And I wanted to take everybody on a tour of what was going to happen. Here's the counties to watch.
New
Here's the
Jersey,
times
New
this,
Jersey,
and
tiny
then we
nation,
timed
size
it.
of Israel,
7 seconds.
surrounded by
A
scary
gigantic
enemies.
county just north of
We
Dallas
must
and Fort
vote
Worth.
for
Benton County
Adam
lit up.
Hamawi.
It was an absolute landslide for Paxton. And so at like 8 o'clock and 7 seconds, I already knew who won the runoff. And it was like the entire reason we were on the air. And because Texas is a split poll closing state, we can't declare anything till we get to 8 o'clock Mountain Time, and there's 2 counties in Mountain Time in Texas. We then had to spend 59 minutes and 53 seconds trying to, as they say, draw blood from a stone. And yet, many of you stayed and watched, and we appreciated it. And anyway, it's a long way of saying polls have now closed in New Jersey.
I'm not allowed to vote in the New Jersey primaries because I registered socialist. Wait, they have closed primaries? That's so funny. You registered socialist? Holy LARP, dude.
That's going to begin at 10 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC News Now. NBC News Now is in its regular programming right now. They're going to be checking in with us a couple times in the next few hours. If you've been watching these, you know how that goes. You'll get to watch the on-air hit. It'll pop up on the screen there. And a matter of fact, I think I have one coming up like in the next minute or two, just to sort of in 2 minutes. So we're getting our first one in 2 minutes. If you haven't seen this before, it's pretty cool. You see the tricks our control room is able to pull off here.
I'm not going to
connect me to Gotti Schwartz.
I'm not going to fight a nasty liberal revisionist who only registered as a socialist and not as a communist. Why would I ever fight you, Kev Rhino? You're a filthy revisionist, okay? Oh, I bet you love de-Stalinization, okay? Oh, no, don't liquidate the kulaks looking ass. Oh, I'm a socialist. Yeah, commie wasn't an option? Yeah, you make it an option.
Just inside 3 hours from now. A lot of drama, obviously, in the gubernatorial primary there, maybe even more in the Los Angeles mayoral race. We'll be covering that, too. Some key congressional races
Adjust your
there.
camera so it doesn't close in Iowa in 55 minutes. Who cares?
And we got Montana, and we got New Mexico, even though there's like nothing going on in New Mexico tonight. So I don't think we're going to spend much time on New Mexico tonight. It's too bad. We haven't spent too many nights doing New Mexico elections. It would have been fun, but unfortunately, not a ton happening there that's of note. So again, we're just kind of waiting here to go to our news now, where they'll ask about NJ7. We can show them NJ12 too. Make sure you're not missing any votes. Again, these are the 2 main congressional races we're keeping an eye on here tonight. And again, as I said, the 7th district, it's such a key race this fall because this is what the district looked like
Thank you for 25
in 2024. Trump won it by a point. Tom Kaine was reelected by a couple of points, okay? And in the governor's race last fall, remember Mikey Sherrill, was elected governor in kind of a landslide. She carried this district. She only carried it by 2 points. It was close, but she did carry this district. So Trump won it by a point. Mikey Sherrill, running for governor, won it by 2 points. And obviously in the midterm climate of 2026, which so far looks like it's going to be challenging for Republicans, you can see why this is just a prime pickup opportunity for Democrats. This is one Republicans would badly like to hold on to, really kind of badly need to hold on to. And of course, you know, sort of complicating the picture here is we're not quite sure what's happening with Tom Kean. Again, I think his last vote in the
Bro, for autistic leftists, you're like the most hilarious human alive. You're lucky that Twitch exists, or else you would have never found this niche. I don't know. I think there's many autistic leftists out there. What is this dude? Bad news. Cory Booker is still the Dem candidate. Yeah, no shit. Well, did he run uncontested? Was there anyone trying to even primary him?
Maybe I can. And what can I do in a minute? So what I can do is this.
Level 3 hype train.
Tonight's going to be. As you say, there's 2 congressional races in New Jersey we're watching in these early hours.
I canvassed for Julie Gonzalez last Saturday.
Between him and Adam.
First time door knocking for a candidate. Thank you for having her on the stream.
My
that being
gosh.
said, I was one of the 3 people door knocking in North Metro Denver.
That was rude of me.
If anyone out there in Colorado is hearing this, we can really use you out here in Broomfield on Sunday at 10 a.m.
He's my producer. He's also our data cruncher extraordinaire on the sidelines here with a very small table tonight.
Just ignore me.
I like this.
Thank you for the
studio.
20 gifted subs. Level 4 hype train, ladies and gentlemen. You already know the goal.
You met Adam. Here comes our hit.
If you like the soundboard, level 10 hype train gets you a gift on the soundboard. Gets you the ultimate prize. All right, where are the dumps? Where are the dumps? Dump it, dump it, dump it. Big dumps, big dumps, big dumps, big dumps, big dumps. Come on.
Give or take.
Why is he whispering? What the fuck is going on? Are they waiting for the dumps? Is it data dump time? Mate, feed art. God damn. Thank you for the 20 gifted subs.
Bruh. Okay, guys, I don't know if you can.
There's so many candidates for governor on the CA ballot. Dude.
Then they're going to come here as soon as we do.
Our boss will scrape results instead. Thankful to be honest. That would have been grueling work with our stringers over and over again throughout the night. There's so many candidates for governor on the CA ballot. We were instructed to skip that race in our manual tabulation.
And I want to turn now to the big board and NBC's chief data analyst, Steve Kornacki, who, by the way, Steve, if you were in California and you were crunching the ballots coming in, we would have answers in seconds. I know you're keeping an eye right now on New Jersey this hour, where polls just closed.
Oh, that's my mood.
Yeah, I don't know if I could be faster than California, but I couldn't be slower. I'll tell you that. So we're waiting on New Jersey right now. 7th congressional district is the key primary to watch here tonight. Why? Because this is going to be one of the most competitive congressional races in America this November. The Republican incumbent here, Jr., you could say the check mark there. He formally wins renomination. There's some mystery here. He has not been seen publicly in a few months, medically undisclosed situation. He released a statement this afternoon.
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
Clarity.
He said he's recovering.
We
don't know from what.
Is which of these Democrats emerges to challenge him. The leader in the polling has been Rebecca
Bones.
But God, to give you a sense of it, this district, Donald Trump won this by a point in 2024, and Mikey Sherrill, when she got elected governor last year, Democrat.
Yeah, he's recovering from all the stock trades that he was doing.
It voted for a Democratic governor by 2 points.
Level 7 hype train, ladies and gentlemen. 3 more levels to go until you know what.
Emerges in this Democratic primary tonight in New Jersey. And yes, the polls have closed. No numbers yet, though.
Yeah, we'll keep checking back. But
first, New Jersey 11 results have Anna Lilia Mejia with 83% of the advanced vote in Passaic County.
The redistricting maps and how they play into today. Their governor's offices up for grabs. What else are you watching?
Yeah, obviously California.
Holy fuck, it's a blowout. Hudson County's advanced vote goes 73% for Menendez Jr. Musab Ali got absolutely cleaned out there.
Let me just get out there. Democratic Senate primary here is one
David
to watch. Now,
Louis
this is a race where the Republicans will be favored to win this Senate seat. Joni Ernst, the Republican, is not running again. Ashley Hinson, a congresswoman, is favored to be the Republican candidate. But Iowa's the kind of state where if the Democrats are going to have a chance of winning back
Charlie
control
Kirk.
of the Senate,
Yeah,
they're
that's
going to have
fine.
to win a couple states like Iowa.
I'll do that
what
for
I mean
you.
by that is a state that Trump won by double digits. And Democrats think this is one of those states that they could put in play nationally. They are hoping that Josh Turek wins tonight. Chuck Schumer, national Democrats are behind him, but he's facing a potentially difficult challenge here from Zach Walz. Some interesting dynamics here, but this one could have general election implications. Who emerges here?
Interesting. We'll be checking back with you very soon. Steve Kornacki, thank you very much.
You got it. All right. Oops. One of our first hits, and thanks as always to Gotti and the News Now.
Come on. Activate the mules.
Let me get back to New Jersey here. I'm like lost on the map as I try to talk and maneuver at once. Yes, Cory Booker, by the way. Again, not much suspense, unopposed. He's running for re-election, and he has won his primary. Let's go back to these House primaries, though. Have we got any numbers, Adam?
I'm going to come.
Okay. That was emphatic and defeated.
Sorry, not yet. Not yet. We're hopeful. Soon.
Complete
So let me
chaos
show
on the
you
race
other
to take
here.
on
And
Cory
again,
Booker.
shout if NJ7 starts coming in. But let's take folks through what we're looking at here next door in the 12th Congressional District. So as I mentioned, it's a very Democratic district here. Kamala Harris won this thing by 23. It was an even bigger margin for Joe Biden in 2020. Very Democratic turf here. Bonnie Watson-Coleman is not running for re-election. I think a 12-year incumbent right there. And, you know, in big blue districts, you know, when the longtime incumbent retires, you get a lot of candidates, and that's the situation. Big red district.
Level 8 hype train, 4 minutes remaining.
But
2 more levels until you get the goods.
In the 12th district of New Jersey. Some of these are more serious candidates than others. We will change the order as soon as the results start coming in. But a couple things to keep in mind here about what we're looking at in the 12th district. It's sort of spread out here in Central Jersey. There's debate about whether Central Jersey is a thing that exists. For the purposes of this, I'm going to say that it does. But about 40% of the vote is going to come out of Middlesex County right here. Okay, next door is Mercer County. That's where the state capital, Trenton, is. It's not all of Mercer County. It's not all of Middlesex County, but it's pretty big chunks of each one of them.
He
and
admitted
the balance of it, about a quarter of the
he
votes
knows.
Come here.
Jersey mentioned.
This is Somerset County.
Jersey mentioned.
So
Central Jersey mentioned.
Far suburbs.
He knows.
Bedroom communities. You know, growth area. Sort of outside
California
New York
chatters,
City
before
here.
you vote for Becerra, watch this.
This is probably going to be about 5%.
No one in this
or so
community is
is gonna
voting for
come out
Javier
of
Becerra, man.
Plainfield,
That's not happening here.
In Union County. So
unfortunately, we're not reaching anyone.
And
we're preaching to the motherfucking choir here because everyone here hates Javier Becerra. Imagine there's like Jasmine Crockett heads in my community that are like, no, of course I'm going to be voting for Javier Becerra. I was about to vote for Steyer, but then I saw my favorite, Jasmine Crockett.
Democratic organization. Sue Altman's name you see here. Do you recognize that? Oh, we got votes. Okay. Sue Altman had run in a different district against Kane. We talked about John Kane. She was his opponent in 2024.
Stop the count.
Okay, we got some votes in here in the Somerset County portion of the district. Okay, so again, we generally this is the early vote, we think, right, that comes out first.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is very interesting.
Toledo.
Adam Hamawee, has the most financial backing of any candidate in this race. Okay, he's shown a lot of movement. He's a plastic surgeon from Princeton, but he's been backed by a pro-Palestine super PAC.
That's what you're describing him as?
Literally,
okay, and here he is the most incredible background out of any candidate running right now in the midterms, and you just said he's a plastic surgeon from Princeton. Dog. He's literally a fucking combat surgeon that saved Tammy Duckworth's life.
She had run a well-known name in Democratic politics in New
will
Jersey.
you say she's backed by AIPAC?
The 7th District
AIPAC
in
subsidiaries?
2024.
No.
Sam Wong is a Princeton professor here. Look at that, Brad Cohen. See, Brad Cohen with that Middlesex County base, but not translating across county lines here.
124 total votes early in Somerset. God damn.
What's very significant in that vote right there.
Yes, PALPAC is a pro-Palestine, anti-AIPAC super PAC. I think it's called PALPAC. Yes, there is one.
A Princeton plastic surgeon. He is not running with county party backing in this district. He does have a ton of money behind him.
Subscribe to the Piker Broadcasting Service, the People's Broadcasting
certainly
Service.
Around Hamawee here about him. He testified.
Wait, he did save her? Are you fucking
the
kidding me?
1995 trial, federal
You're a 50-month subscriber. You didn't. I've had Adam Hamawee on multiple times at this point. Yes, dude. Yes. He was there. He was at 9/11. He was a first responder at 9/11. He went to Bosnia. He went to Gaza twice. And yes, as a combat medic, he saved Tammy Duckworth's life, dude. God damn. Subscribe. Davidius Ferenius, thank you for the 20. Conway, thank you for the 5 gifted subs.
We do have something at 7th, but sticking with the 12th real quick, I was looking inside Somerset, inside the municipalities in Somerset, and we do see kind of Hamawee leading in all of the different municipalities inside Somerset. So we're talking Franklin Township, Hillsborough Township, Montgomery Township. As you get into the vote, again, it's all early vote, but he is kind of broad support inside Somerset.
Yeah, there's a breadth there. That's significant. You said we got some in the 7th. Holy cow. I mean, there it is. Okay. So let's take you through the 7th district here. And again, Rebecca Bennett had been favored, certainly, coming into this. Look at that. That's about a fifth of the vote right there. So start right here, Hunterdon County. This is probably about 20% of the district here. Gentile,
Cocos Nana,
Hunterdon
thank you for the
County.
5-tier and gift to
Adam, you're a
subs.
Hunterdon County guy, I think.
I am.
Born and
Level
raised,
9
okay.
hype train,
Or at least
almost
raised.
complete. 4
Born
minutes
and warned.
remaining.
Anyways,
At level
that's
10.
a huge number for Bennett right there.
You know
That's
what
a
I'll
huge
play.
number for Bennett. Somerset County, this is her base. Again, Bennett is running with, this district spans a little bit more turf geographically. Bennett, Somerset County here, this is another big part
Who's
of the
the pick in
district.
this race? I don't know.
Probably 20% of the voters so is going to come out of
Dog,
here, like
I'm one
Bridgewater,
person.
New Jersey.
I don't know
This
every
is Bennett's
single
home. This is
fucking
where she's from,
house.
Somerset County. Again, that's a
Guys,
early.
I don't know every single House primary race. I will be honest with you. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to every single House primary race in the state of New Jersey. I have no idea. Maybe I should know, but I don't, okay? Subsonic Spartan, thank you for the 10 gifted. Hunterdon County giving 50% of the vote to Navy helicopter pilots named Rebecca. I guess she's a Navy helicopter pilot. That's the first time I've heard you say that. We get used to certain things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a limit to my knowledge, man. I'm one person, you know?
Bennett. They backed a different candidate, Brian Varela, in this race.
If you were half
but
the
again,
man
they are
Kornacki
much
is-
smaller size compared to like a Hunterdon, a Somerset, Union. These are the three biggest right here. And we've now heard from two of them, and those are giant numbers for Rebecca Bennett. So again, she had led in the polling, and Adam, shout if we get more NJ12 here. She had led in the polling, and everything you see with a fifth of the vote in is validating what that polling was showing.
Taking a moment today to remember the horrific October 7th terror attack on Israel and the innocent lives lost that day. I stand in solidarity with all those that are impacted.
You could be looking at, this could be the matchup here, Rebecca Bennett,
Did you just
Tom
Google?
Kane Jr. Okay,
Did you just see Rebecca Bennett? You found her Twitter profile and you searched October 7 posts? I mean, hey, you can't argue. Can't argue with that method, I guess. New Jersey, size of Israel. Israel, size of New Jersey. I just typed Israel and Gaza. Yeah, that makes
Congressional
sense.
District of New Jersey, based in Morris County. She was elected that year, and one of her sort of selling points biographically was that credential of being a Navy vet.
That
and a
was
helicopter
2025,
pilot.
Hasan.
And Rebecca
Bruh,
Bennett.
that makes it worse. It wasn't 2024. It was 2025. She does have J Street endorsements on her website. Okay. Cool. New Jersey and Israel have the same size political influence? Fuck no, they don't.
A lot of party support, meaning the party organizational support. The party organizations saw something in Cheryl early on, and I think in this part of the
She's the meme when I was deployed in the Middle East. I saw firsthand how vital Israel's partnership is to the United States.
So again, if this holds, that could set the stage
Great.
there for a.
That's great, man. I love this kind of Democrat. Israel's vital to our national security interest kind of Democrat. That's my favorite Dem, dude. We don't have enough of those guys. Glad to fill another one of these ranks with a guy like that, with a lady like that. And what are you going to do? You can't win all the fucking races. You can't run everywhere, right? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. All right, more dumps, more dumps, more
if
dumps.
You're Bennett, everything you're seeing in these numbers is exactly what you wanted to see. Nothing new in 12? Anything new in 12?
Nothing new in 12.
Nothing new in 12. So we're keeping an eye on that one. And yeah, I said that the Tom Kane situation, he put out a statement, a written statement. He said within a few weeks, he said he would be transitioning from work from home back to in-person attendance and public appearances. He said in the next few weeks, so didn't put quite a date on that. And he said he promised full transparency at that point because there's been a lot of questions about what exactly is going on right there, and obviously those questions then spill over into the general election. What does that mean
Level 10
for him as a what does whatever has been happening with it mean for him as a general election candidate?
Come on, more dumps, more dumps, more. Stop dumping in your pants.
Your screen. Thank goodness we had a lot of viewers asking about this. Could we put a scroll or whatever at the bottom of the screen there with the results so you're not just locked into whatever I put up on the screen? I hope you see it. There it is. It's a great idea. We were overdue in getting it to you, but that should hopefully help tonight as we kind of jump around from race to race.
Conaway.
So, as a matter of fact, why don't we do this? Adam, if we get more in New Jersey, Paul, I'll put the counties back up here. If we get more in New Jersey, let me know. But I'm going to go off of this for a minute. I mean, you get the basic idea clearly, I think, of what's been happening here. And let's just give you a sense of what we're going to be, what the rest of the night is going to look like here, okay? So we're going to do this right. We're going to zoom out, right? You get to see all these. Don't ask me to explain the colors. And then we make our way over to Iowa. And I didn't mean to go to the 4th Congressional District. I meant just to go to the Senate race in Iowa. So
we just got Union County.
We just got Union. We're going right back. We're going right back, folks. Zoom out. New Jersey now. It's going to be like this is the Republican Senate primary for the right to run against Cory Booker in New Jersey. But I wanted to show you the House primary. Boy, this is. I wish we could have turned the Pennsylvania colors off. Okay, we just got Union County, meaning we got. Oh my goodness. Let's go over here. Okay. So if we just got Union
in 7.
Oh, in 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Okay.
Fuck.
All right. This is a big one. All right. There. Okay. Union is like a third of this. It's almost a third of the primary vote in this district. Now, again, this
GOP
is just
tried to meddle in this race against Bennett. Nowhere enough. Also, I'm the only candidate in this race who unconditionally fund Israel. Tina Shaw has also lost.
Again, Rahway is here.
Who's this?
This is the biggest population center in the district. And what more is there to say? Bennett crushing it there. Bennett crushing it with half the vote in Somerset County. Bennett crushing it in Hunterdon County. Even in Morris County,
there's only 4%. No dumps. No new dumps.
It leaves two component counties here, Warren County and Sussex County, where it might look a little bit different because those county organizations have actually backed Varela here. But those are small compared to what we just got in, okay? So yeah, about 30% of the vote, Union. About 20% of the vote is going to come next door from Somerset. And then about 20% of the vote as well is going to come from Hunterdon County. So between these counties, you're looking at like 70% of the vote. So we're 70%.
Why has Kavernickle lost it? I don't know. I don't know what you're even referencing. So I have no answer to your question. First ball drop has the guy New York Post said is literally Al-Qaeda on top. Let's go Adam Hamawi. Let's go Adam Hamawi. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. New drops. New dumps. New dumps. Wait, what the fuck? Union County, what the fuck?
But this is the only part of Union County in the district. So again, this is going to be like 5-6% of all the votes cast in this district.
No!
This is the mayor of Plainfield, Adrian Mapp, and he is, again, with that early slice of the vote that just came in there, he's putting up big numbers here over Hamawi. But here's the problem, right?
Start the count.
You can win your home city. You got to do that. You got to win it big. Maybe you want to win it. Probably want to win it bigger.
Guys, I'm kidding. It's 248
votes. But go to
votes.
Somerset County, where there's a lot of votes. Now, where do we find Adrian Mapp here? We got to keep going. Look at that. He's at 2%
votes.
Here, right? So that's the concern for Mapp. And I think that was sort of the sense going in. Was Mapp going to sort of have his home city, but it wasn't going to extend across city-county lines? And I mean, look at that. You go down to Somerset County, and you can see that's he's not going to be able to do much with 43% of the vote out of Union County if he's getting 2% in the other counties. Meanwhile, take a look inside Union County right there, and who's coming in second? It's Adam Hamawi. 18% of the vote. Chanel Robinson, again, who we already saw in her home county. She's running so far in the vote. Her home county, she's running behind Hamawi here. And then you go into Union County, and Hamawi's running ahead of her here. Again, if you just sort of cede this to Mapp. So in a way, that is actually what you just got out of the city of Plainfield is better news for Hamawi than for anyone else. Because if Mapp's limited by just his home city, then the question is who's coming in second.
These are county by county, man. This is a much larger district than some of the smaller counties. He's basically saying Adrian Mapp is in his own home county. He's winning, but it doesn't matter because he's not pulling enough support from any of the other larger counties. Whereas Adam Hamawi is either in first position or even in that other county in second position, which is looking good in early votes. But this is still early votes, and it's only 4% in, so it doesn't actually mean anything yet.
Okay, so his county is going to have to come through for him in a massive, massive way. And remember, we say the county organization supporting him in New Jersey.
Why is the New York Times write a piece about your sex-obsessed life? New York Times wrote a piece? The New York Times wrote an article about me? No. You mean New York Post, probably. There's a very big difference between New York Times and New York Post, chatter. Yeah, New York Post is a fucking dish rag. They're just trying to just trying to attack. And they're hitting like all the fucking slop tuber lines.
Again, about
piece by
30%
piece.
of the vote is from here. Again, the city of Trenton's here. Princeton is here. So if you Ewing Township, if you know New Jersey, is here. That's another big one. West Windsor. But again, the question too. Again, if Cohen were to do well in Middlesex, is it a bit of like the situation we just showed you with Mapp in Plainfield? Is it not gonna spread elsewhere? For Mapp, it's such a small part of the district. That's if Cohen were to get something really big out of Middlesex, that's 40% of the district. That could change these numbers a bit. But let's see when that comes in. So that's the big thing here. Middlesex County, we are waiting on Middlesex and Mercer, and those are going to be very important to see when they come in. But zooming out, that's what it looks like. Did we get anything new in 7? No, I think we're where we were in 7, right? We at 23%.
Nothing new.
Nothing new in the bigger sense of it. Okay, so I'm going to shout if we get any more in 12.
Yep.
Right?
Come on.
Okay. Middlesex, Mercer is what we're kind of looking for there. But I wanted to give folks a sense of what else we're going to be doing tonight, because about a half an hour from now, things are going to expand a bit. And where they are going to expand is going to be in Iowa. So, sorry, you think I would know how to do this by now. The Senate race in Iowa. So start here on the Republican side. Ashley Hinson, a congresswoman running with Trump's endorsement, is widely expected to win this primary easily tonight. This is the U.S. Senate seat that Jody Ernst is not seeking re-election to. Again, and this is in Iowa, a state that Donald Trump carried by double digits in 2024. But it is one that Democrats are hoping to put in play this year. They're hoping that with the national climate, if the national climate does move solidly against the Republicans, this is the kind of seat that they could put in play. And so that's the backdrop for this primary for the U.S. Senate in Iowa. So it's a very interesting contrast here between these two candidates, right? They represent very different things, sort of ideologically, geographically, demographically. Josh Turek, okay, National Democrats are backing him here. He's from Pottawatomie County. It's where Council Bluffs is. It's out by Omaha. And he actually he's a state legislator, and he represents a district that voted for Donald Trump. So he actually, of all the state legislators in Iowa who are Democrats, he represents the most Republican, the most pro-Trump district. He's been able to win in that district, calls himself a moderate, is running on electability. You see why folks like Chuck Schumer, the Senate Democratic leader, they see a possibility to sort of export that out of his district statewide. Now, Zach Walz, meanwhile, is from here. He's from Johnson County. This is where Iowa City is, the University of Iowa. He's a state senator. I saw a Republican consultant call this the People's Republic of Johnson County. This is as blue as it gets in Iowa. And not just Johnson County being blue, but the district in particular that Walz represents, the 3 sort of communities that make up his state Senate district, the 3 of them gave Kamala Harris her 3 highest shares of the vote of any community in Iowa. The top 3 are all in his district. So you have the Democrat who represents the most Republican district in Iowa state legislature, represented by a Democrat on the one hand, versus the most Democratic legislative district in Iowa on the other hand. And Walz has been running. Look, you say the National Democrats are behind Turek. Walz has been, sort of trying to harness that to his benefit. He's been saying, that Chuck Schumer is not a popular figure in polling with Democrats. So not just with Democrats, but inside the party. He's been trying to take that frustration with party leaders nationally, with party leaders in general, and says, hey, send me. I'll vote against Schumer. I'll vote against these leaders. So he's been trying to turn that to his advantage. It's going to be interesting to see this come in here.
Man.
Anything new in New Jersey?
It's wearing my ass down, brother. Holy shit.
The governor's seat here, Kim Reynolds, the Republican incumbent, not seeking re-election. We are going to be looking at the Republican primary here, though. It's a crowded race. The 2 main candidates appear to be Randy Feenstra, from the 4th District of Iowa, the northwest corner of Iowa. So most Republican, most of the 3 other congressional districts in Iowa are competitive to some degree. The 4th District is the one that's a solidly red congressional district here. That's what Feenstra represents. He's running for governor. Zach Lon is a farmer, but who is running as a populist, MAGA-aligned Republican candidate here. And Lon is the one who has had the momentum in polling. In fact, there was a poll last week that actually put him slightly ahead of Feenstra. Now, 2 complicating factors that make this thing interesting tonight. Number one is this. Iowa's primary has a 35% threshold, right? So it's a crowded field here. And that's important because if no candidate gets 35% of the vote in this Republican primary, they go to, not a runoff, they go to a state convention. The state convention would pick the Republican nominee then. So who comes in first is a question, but right away, does that person also get 35% of the vote? Otherwise, it goes to the state convention. And the other thing is this. Maybe this was the most important. Feenstra, last Friday, last minute, got an endorsement from Donald Trump, right? So his opponent has been tapping into the sort of populist, pro-Trump, MAGA grassroots and gaining momentum. Feenstra gets the Trump endorsement at the last minute. Is that going to change? There had been tens of thousands of votes had already been cast when that happened. But after that, does that change sort of the complexion of this race? So we look at that.
Yeah, we got some new results in NJ12 in Somerset County.
Somerset, we got more Somerset in NJ12. I told you not to put the shortcuts here, and I am kicking myself for that, Adam, but I think I just found it. Here we go. Okay, wow, we got more in okay, now this just got interesting. Okay, so we said Somerset. Wow, look at this. Chanel Robinson, who is she's a county commissioner in Somerset County. So that initial batch there, which was the early vote, we think, is that right?
Yep.
Now, the next giant batch here has come in, and it's much better for Robinson and not for Hamawi, who's now in second place here. So Robinson is now leading in her county with a little bit less than half the vote it totaled, and that's put her into the lead district-wide. Again, all we have right now is Somerset County, and again, Union County, where Plainfield is, where that city's mayor, at least early on.
And it looks like this vote report is being labeled as mail in Somerset.
So we got early vote and now vote by mail.
Yes.
So what? Okay, that's important to know. So early vote, you saw Hamawi, vote by mail, Robinson, and now we await the same day vote.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That much mail compared to that? I feel like those are reversed.
Yeah. I'll investigate more, but
yeah.
I
feel like that's. I think that's the dynamic, but I think we might have reversed the dynamic there. But the point being, we're waiting on the same day vote now in Somerset County. We're waiting on everything in Middlesex, everything in Mercer. Again, is this the vote by mail we're looking at here in Union County? Pre-election vote, certainly, because they reported out that much that quickly.
Come on.
But what it adds up to, again, powered by her home county, Chanel Robinson, with a slight advantage over Adam Hamawi here. If Robinson is able to build this advantage, and again, if she's able to build this advantage with the same-day vote here, there are a lot of votes to be had out of Somerset County. It's not the biggest piece of the district, but it's not insignificant here. It's about a quarter of the vote. I'll be very interested to see then if she's able to do that. That's a huge if. What it looks like for her is that support going across county lines here when you get to the 2 biggies, when you get to Middlesex and Mercer counties. Why don't we leave it here, because we do have a little bit of suspense here. Why don't we first just check back in on NJ7, nothing new. So again, NJ7, that's, Rebecca Bennett went into tonight favored. Everything you're seeing right now is coming up Bennett right there. So unless there's an absolutely stunning turn of events there, I think you see what's coming in the 7th. Okay, this looks like we just got Middlesex County. Okay, so we said this would have to be a big number for Brad Cohen. It's a lot bigger than the 2% we saw him getting early on in Somerset County. He's the mayor of East Brunswick. He's running with the organizational endorsement in Middlesex County. Middlesex is 40% of this district, and there's half the vote. So
it's not bad for Halloween.
All coming out at once, and Cohen with the advantage there, 2,000 vote advantage, about a 11-point advantage over Hamawi. And what that does Add that to the mix. Now we got a third of the vote in this district, and Cohen now has the advantage over Hamawi. But look what happened. I think something more significant can be gleaned from this. Go back here to Middlesex County. So we said, Chanel Robinson, what happens when you get outside Somerset? Does that support extend? Look at that. She falls to 5%. So you see her running.
Dude, it's so funny. This district is like a patchwork of people who are just popping in their hometowns, basically, in their counties. And every single one of them is getting decent numbers in their counties that they reside in or have like some kind of local position in. And Adam Hamawi's always in second place, which is, I think, the reason why he's inevitably going to overtake in the grand scheme of things when all the votes are counted, when all the dumps come in. This is only 34%, and he's looking pretty good right now, for the record.
Right? So he's running at 36, and he's running at 7. Chanel Robinson's running at 27 in one, and she's running down. She's running down. It's 4% in the other one. Meanwhile, here's Adam Hamawi. He's not in first place in either, but he's only 3 points behind in second place in Somerset County, and he's 11 points behind, but running at 25%, quarter of the vote in Middlesex County. So, if Hamawi is able to keep doing this, if he can do this across Mercer, if he can do this across Middlesex, if he can do this across Somerset, and Cohen is like
overview,
a one-county
there's a good
wonder,
chance Adam Hamawi wins easily without winning a single county due to the regional candidate base for the bottom four. His best chance is Middlesex and Mercer. Or maybe that's
Hamawi's county because Princeton, he's got to be the most pleased with these results so far.
We do have more at a 7. We just got Morris and Sussex.
Okay. So let's call that one up here.
Morris, that's our second report.
Yep. Right. So I think we got. I think we got mail, and then we got the in-person early, based on these numbers. But it doesn't change the picture in Morris. And and look at this. This, to the extent there was an outstanding question here in Sussex County. I mean, look, this is small, okay, Northwest New Jersey, but Varela had the county party's backing here, right? So we're sort of looking at this saying, Bennett had the county party backings, and she's winning big. Are these two going to be? It's not different. It's not meaningfully different. She's 30 points ahead of the guy who had the county party backing. So I think right now, zoom out, this is what the district looks like. It's basically about a third of the vote. I mean, look, she's 5,000, she's 5,300 votes ahead. Obviously, we say this is vote that was cast before Election Day, mail vote, early in-person vote. I think our decision desk is probably just waiting to make sure that the same day vote, which is going to be a big chunk, just make sure that there's nothing crazy in that suddenly Varela's not getting 60% of the. I don't know why he would be. I don't know why any of the others would be. But that's the thing with the decision desk. That's how they have to do these things. You want to, what do they say? Cross all your T's, dot all your I's, and you got to make sure. You can suspect it. You got to make sure that same day vote doesn't look any different. But I mean, I think you can see where this one appears to be going. So going back to the 12th district here, and I'm just going to take a little bit of water too. My allergies have been brutal for the last week. It is. I lost my voice for 2 days after doing this last week. Just got the.
See,
I think
not everyone's fucking cut out for this. Okay, not everyone's cut out for this. A lot of you are like, oh, he mogs you. Why don't you have a whiteboard or whatever? He has it, but he only does it for like 2 hours every other week, and even then, he's like dying for 2 days afterwards. So you motherfuckers don't understand what it takes to be able to do this 8 hours a day, okay? Literally 8 fucking hours a day every single day. It's crazy.
It's in Somerset, 6,000 mail-in and 3,000 early in person. So again,
say it one more time.
Our expected vote going into the night for Somerset in particular, about 8,500 election day, 6,000 mail, and about 2,800 early in person.
So I was completely wrong.
No, we're still trying to get some clarity.
I doubted what you told me, and I told the folks
it would match up with that.
Right. The point is that what we're looking at is the pre-election vote. The point is also that I was wrong in my sense of which type of pre-election
we just got some Warren County vote in NJ7.
Okay, so again, this is the place where Varela had the county party's backing. Let's see if it looks any different. Surprise, surprise, it does not. So Warren County, and again, and look at that, he's in third place here. So Rebecca Bennett, again, this is the worst number she's gotten tonight, and she's up double digits, and she's almost 2-1 up over the guy who got the county party's backing. So now 35% of the vote is in in NJ7, and it's just it's currently a landslide for Bennett, and it would take an epic reversal in the same day vote for that to change. So again, if that does hold, it would be Rebecca Bennett against Tom Kean Jr. NJ7. I hope the folks. I hope the folks in those counties like TV ads because I
just want you might want to stay there for a second.
Is it coming? Folks, pay attention to that Rebecca Bennett name right there. Oh, you see it? There it is. NBC News Decision Desk has declared that Rebecca Bennett has been nominated by the Democrats in New Jersey National District. She will now move on to the general election where she will face Republican incumbent Tom Kean Jr., who was renominated tonight without opposition and who has been sidelined with an undisclosed medical situation for the last several months. He released a statement this afternoon promising that there would be a return to the public view in the coming weeks, and that with that would come full disclosure on what that situation has been. No one's quite really sure what's been happening, but we do know this. It will be Bennett. It will be Kean Jr.
We got some more in Mercer in NJ12.
We got our first Mercer vote. Huge. Okay, so now Verlina Reynolds Jackson,
this was expected.
The state
Don't freak
legislator
out. This was
from
expected.
Trenton, the state capital, but also it's the largest city in Mercer County.
Adam Holloway's back in the lead, baby.
The pre-election vote
back
here,
in the motherfucking lead.
She finishes first.
How
but
about
again,
we?
what's the
How
pattern?
about we up good?
We've seen this in our
How
three
about we
big
up
counties.
good?
Hamawee isn't winning any of them, but he's second place
going
again.
sicko mode.
Right, 24-21. And now, remember, take a look here for the other two candidates here.
Stop the count.
Brad Cohen back down to 6%. He got his bang out of Middlesex County, but in Somerset and in Mercer. And the same can be said for Chanel Robinson. She's getting somewhat of a bang out of Somerset County, but an afterthought in Middlesex and Mercer. So add that all together, and you're looking at a district-wide vote right now that has Hamawee ahead, but Cohen still at double-digit lead in the biggest county in the district is keeping him competitive. Everybody else now has fallen under 10%. So again, that's about half the vote district-wide. And now we start to say, where's the remaining vote coming from? So we've got, again, that's more than half the vote in Middlesex County, and a little bit less in Mercer. So Hamawee's margin right now over Cohen and Mercer with those votes, 2187. So it's about a 1,500 vote margin. So if they keep running at that level, that's a big if, but if they keep running at that level, then Hamawee Hamawee versus Cohen, he could net another 1,500 votes in his margin over Cohen. He leads him by 1,000 right now. So if you added 1,500 to that, okay, we're playing with the math right here, you get to 2,500. Now you take a look in Middlesex County, where Cohen's margin over Hamawee is 2,000 votes with a little more than half in. So again, if you were generous and gave Cohen another 2,000 vote margin with the remaining vote, what would that do? We said Hamawee would be up 2,500. You'd shave 2,000 off. Hamawee would still be up 500, and you would then have the matter of Somerset County, where a quarter of the vote is in, and here Hamawee, you could see, is kind of crushing Cohen. He's more than 3-1 ahead of Cohen. So if that doesn't change in Somerset County, then currently what Cohen's getting out of Middlesex County, based on the numbers we're seeing so far, currently that wouldn't be enough. That wouldn't be enough. He right now clearly is the main opposition to Hamawee, I think, as these votes are coming in. And again, our friend Adrian Mapp here winning his home city currently in Plainfield, but, go down to Mercer County. Where is he, right? He's at 1.2%. We showed you Somerset. Where is he in Middlesex County? He's down at 0.7%. So again, he's a one-county wonder. And there you go. So again, the Hamawee, I think, has got to be feeling the best here of these candidates. And I think, obviously, realistically, if it's not going to be Hamawee here from these early numbers, Brad Cohen is the only one here. But what he would need, one thing that he would really need, he needs a bigger margin than this. We say this is the pre-election vote in his home county, right? He was winning it 36-25 over Hamawee. Now comes the election day vote. Well, okay, what if he wins what if he could get that over 40% with the election day vote? What if that Hamawee share fell under 20% with the election day vote? What if Cohen gets a lot more out of the second half of the vote that gets tabulated in Middlesex than he got out of the first. That's what he's going to need. He's going to need something like that, I think, realistically here, because again, Mercer County, he's running at 6% right now. He's running at 6%. He would like Hamawi's number to drop in Mercer, for that matter, as the election day vote gets tabulated there too. He doesn't want Hamawi getting too far away from him in any of these other counties. But and for that matter, if it comes to it in a close race, again, Union County, 6% or so of the vote here.
Size of New
Hamawi
Jersey.
running at 18%.
Size of Israel.
And where's Cohen? 1%. See, this is a small
votes in
small
Union
county, but
County.
that's consequential. If this is close at all, that's consequential. So again, I think those numbers right now, as that pattern that we're seeing presents itself, it's much more favorable to Hamawi than to Cohen. The pattern would have to change in the remaining half of the vote that gets tabulated for that to shift. But an interesting race right there, and again, this in a heavily Democratic district. So, in all likelihood, winning this primary is tantamount to becoming a member of Congress.
Just a reminder, it's 8:47 now. We're coming up at the top of 9. We will have to do a check-in again with just prior to the top of the hour. And then we'll have Iowa polls closed.
Right. Okay. So Adam took you through that, and I think the News Now one is going to be a little lengthy at the top of the hour here.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. How do we split this? I don't know if we've had this challenge. This is an interesting story, but I also have a feeling that our viewers are more interested in the outcome of that Democratic Senate primary in Iowa. It's just that this is, as we say, it's a Democratic district. So I have a bias towards when I see a close race, right? I want to stay on it just because I have a bias towards something that's very close and very competitive. But at the same time, in 12 minutes, we could start getting numbers out of Iowa. Now, I think Iowa's going to be a little bit slow going with its returns. But we will shift towards that and err on the side of showing you Iowa, I think, and then obviously jumping back here anytime we get anything. But again, the next big things here, anything
went
we
uncontested,
get from
I believe,
Middlesex or from Mercer,
unfortunately,
or from Somerset County, potentially even decisive if we get a big batch of vote here.
Do any of these New Jersey 12 candidates even bother campaigning outside of their home counties? I don't know, but good for us,
I'm just going
right?
to zoom out. And South Dakota, is that coming at 9?
I'm a numbers guy. Number 2 in every district. Number 2 in every county means number 1 in the district.
It's an interesting race here for governor for the same reason the Iowa Republican governor's race is. There's a 35% threshold here. Now, unlike Iowa, if nobody gets 35% in the South Dakota Republican gubernatorial primary, they just kick it over to a runoff, I think, in 8 weeks from now. So it's not a state convention, but this has runoff potential. Now, this is, remember, Joni Ernst, Kristi Noem was the governor of South Dakota before she joined the Trump administration. It opened the job. Larry Roden became his lieutenant governor. He became the governor when that happened. John Hanson is the state house speaker. Dusty Johnson is the at-large member of Congress from South Dakota. And Toby Doden is running. He's a self-funded campaign, or a largely self-funded campaign, again, aimed squarely. He's tried to position himself here as the most staunchly, adamantly pro-Trump candidate, the sort of populist, grassroots conservative candidate in this race. He's the one who's been moving in the polls out here. Okay, so you got Doden as sort of the outsider,
Doden.
Johnson the
Dusty
congressman,
Johnson.
John Hanson, of course, the veteran state legislator, and Larry Roden, the interim governor, who moved into the job when Noem went to the administration. But does anyone get 35% here tonight? So we'll be watching the South Dakota primary as well. Iowa, we're also. I mentioned Iowa for the Senate race. We've taken you through the Senate race. There are some House races in Iowa that are going to be very significant this November. We're just not looking at particularly competitive
That's right. My
primaries
name is
in
Dusty
them tonight.
Johnson.
But there are 4.
But my Johnson ain't Dusty.
There are 4.
I don't got no cobwebs on my Dusty Johnson.
Orange, yellow, but there are 4 different districts here, as we say. This one, Mariannette Miller Meeks, is the one I wanted to show you here. She's got Republican opposition in the primary, but it's not considered to be a serious threat to her. She won by less than 1,000 votes
dumps, but small dumps,
in 2024, and she faces a rematch here, Christina Bohannon, who nearly beat her in 2024. This is another one. I would say NJ7. This one we're going to be talking about at least as much as NJ. It looks like you got something out of it.
Yeah, we just got an update in Somerset County. It's small. It's 200 votes, but I think it is election day vote.
Okay, let's go. I really should have.
I can.
Nope.
Those.
That's
Okay.
all right. So you're talking about the 12th district.
Yes. Sorry.
So what was the election day vote update we got? Did we?
So we got
46. No. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not doubting you again.
It's 214 election day votes, so it is small.
Yeah.
Hemingway gets 35%, and he was getting 36% in our first report.
No, he was getting less. He's at 25% countywide, so he was.
Yes, there is that interim report that.
What the fuck?
He seems to be
he's
fell behind
improved.
Robinson.
He's
Right,
improved.
okay.
He's improved from early to same day voting. He's improved.
Early. We established.
Yes.
He was at about
Hamawi is
36%
improved
that.
from early day voting
Mail
percentages
went for
to
Robinson.
same day
That's
voting
right.
percentages. That's good.
He got 18%, and he's back at 35.
Now we're back at poll, and that's first place here in that.
Yes.
In that, it gets small, but okay, that's
huge.
Well, look, we're trying to sort of
That's huge.
game this one out.
I'm a
folks,
numbers
saying
guy.
If the pattern changes in the second half here, and if it changes in any way that changes that's more beneficial to
Hamawi now jumps
then he's
ahead.
got this
2.7
thing.
his votes come in from more
Because
favorable
it's
counties,
already
46%
been
for Mercer,
favorable
54%
to
for
Hamawi.
Middlesex.
And that would be very
Interestingly, he's not
favorable,
leading in any one
if in that
county,
Somerset
specifically
County,
only
he does even
overall.
better. So, Iowa closing here in
46.9% of the total vote counted. Tabulation moving
that Senate
quickly.
race, obviously,
Ladies and gentlemen,
real interesting dynamics
things are moving.
in that
Things are
Democratic
shaking.
primary. Really looking forward to kind of diving into that one. South Dakota, we'll keep tabs in that governor's race. I think it's an interesting one. And we'll have Montana closing in a little bit too. And I know some folks are going to be very interested in the Montana, the first district in Montana, first congressional district in Montana. Just a warning that we're sitting here telling you California takes a long time. They're going to take even longer. Tonight, the Montana one is actually going to be the slowest. So I'm not sure we're going to get anything meaningful or clarifying from Montana's first congressional district, but we will monitor it. We will be checking it out throughout the night. And now we are a little bit more than 2 hours away from poll closing in California. So again, I'm going to, as we build towards this News Now hit, I will take you through a bit of the play. We got something?
Well, just a little bit more on the design of this News Now hit.
Yeah.
You'll have about 3 or 4 minutes coming up here in about 2 minutes. They're hoping you can teeing up Iowa Senate, and then they'll do a minute reset at the top of the hour, and then they'll bring you back in.
Okay. Could I ask you a favor? Is it easy to put NJ12 in one of these shortcuts?
Yeah.
Because I think for the next hour in Iowa, we're going to want to check back on this, but kind of live in Iowa.
It's really funny that 4 county establishment parties thought they could run their own candidate and win, but zero plan or interest in getting any of the other support from other 3 counties.
I know New Jersey.
And then Adam Hamawi comes in and pops off.
So what's going to happen later tonight, though, at 10 o'clock, News Now is going to begin its special. And I'm going to be joining that special where they're actually just, about 20 yards over that way.
What is this? Still waiting for more dumps?
We're going to keep the live stream going. Anything that's happening with me on the special, you're going to see. In that 10 to 11 hour on the special,
he went from 18%
we're going to be
in early
recapping
vote
anything
to
major that's happened
35%
between now
on
and then
E-Day.
for results. We're going to be
That
setting
is
up
an
California.
That's an incredible bump.
There,
I think.
I'll come back here.
That's an incredible bump. In the same exact county, he went from 18% early vote to 35% E-Day. Obviously, it's a very small number of votes that have been counted so far, so we don't know. But if that keeps up, it's over. Another small dump.
Report, and it was about 867 votes.
Okay, and Hamawi and I can see Robinson did a little bit better with
Robinson.
it. But we're talking a very small number of votes there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So basically, Map, again, his home city, the only place where he's really registering right now. Coming up on another News Now hit, but I will say, so then a few minutes before the News Now special, 10 to 11, we're going to be juggling both. You won't miss anything that we're doing. A few minutes before 11, that's California poll close time. I'm going to go over there. You'll see this all. Leave this thing on. Please do. Because I will tee up with Hallie Jackson what's about to happen in California. And when the polls close in California, we make fun of it as a slow state. It is slow on the tail end. But that first hour, right, it's like there was the California gold rush in the 19th century. It's the California vote rush in the 11 o'clock hour. Because all that pre-election, all that vote by mail that's been received by Election Day, or some point before Election Day. They've processed it. They've got it ready. And county after county, they release it all in one giant chunk. Orange County in 2024, 750,000 votes came in at 11:06 p.m. And they just fly like that. And at some point in that hour, one of those counties is going to be Los Angeles County. And when you see that, that means City of Los Angeles. And when you see that, that means we're going to get like half the vote in the mayor's race all at once. Talk more about that, but here comes the news now hit. They won Iowa.
Shows that AIPAC has no motion in this race because Altman is getting destroyed. So here's the thing.
Closing up this hour on a very...
One, they weren't hitting as many. I don't think they pumped Altman as hard. That's number one. And number two, the Democratic primaries is a totally different demon than the Republican primaries for this reason. That's why I said there's a viable route here to put forth candidates that are actually good. We saw what happened in the Republican primaries with Thomas Massie and with numerous other candidates that had opposed Trump at some point throughout their careers, and they all got punished for it, right? There are other candidates in this race, in this very crowded primary field, that are even more pro-Israel than Sue Altman. Sue Altman was actually the Working Families Party candidate too, because she worked with the WFP, and WFP really liked HasanAbi but had to endorse Altman. Now, what's interesting about this race, or what's interesting overall with the races that we've participated in so far, is the fact that, brother, I can't hear them talk about Iowa. What the fuck is there to talk about Iowa, man? The polls haven't even closed yet. Listen, buddy, no disrespect to the Iowans in the chat, the 3 Iowans in the chat, but there's nothing yet, okay? Now, here's the thing. As I've said, there is no real viable constituency within the Republican Party that can withstand AIPAC-style funding initiatives, but clearly there is a lot of appetite. There is a lot of appetite in the Democratic Party's primaries to actually vote for a candidate that is anti-Israel, regardless of what AIPAC tries to do. Can you turn on closed caption? It doesn't work.
In the first hour to 90 minutes. And that's because, and I'll put it up on the screen and just give you a sense of it here. This is the governor's primary here. Remember, this is a top 2 primary for governor, meaning all the candidates, regardless of party, run on one ballot. The top 2 advance to the general election.
There is no real Iowa?
Tom
What is
Steyer,
this?
Steve Hilton, Javier Becerra have kind of been the top 3 in polling here.
Tell me about weighing those. I wanted to actually see them kind of debate it out. I didn't get to see that kind of. I leaned more towards I felt he could fight Trump better than Becerra could.
A big part of the conversation around his candidacy is the fact that he's a billionaire and like
that too.
Is that part of your thinking?
Yes, definitely, for sure, because he's a billionaire and probably has the same frame of thinking. You fight fire with fire. So.
Thank you so much. That's going to do it for us tonight.
You do have a shortcut. We do have some more Middlesex vote.
Okay.
Tell
me when I'm going back to
Dump it.
In about a minute.
Dump it.
Okay, folks, we got a minute here. What just came in Middlesex?
So we got 3,700 votes.
Oh, I can see it. Wow, it was HasanAbi.
Left sex, right sex.
Yeah, he gets 37%, 38%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sex in the middle.
Folks, HasanAbi's feeling great after seeing that.
And they'll want to go back to Iowa on the other side of this.
It's coming.
Call it. It's
coming.
I think they want to go back to Iowa because we have made some characterizations, at least particularly in Congressional District 3.
Iowa, boo! Call it first.
Wait, they want to do the 3rd district? What do they want to? It's unopposed.
Yeah, we made the characterizations at the top of the hour.
6-second advert, top of the hour. Subscribe.
They want me to do it the unopposed.
For good old time's sake. What is happening right now? What the fuck is going on, dude?
There. Joining us now at the big board, NBC News Chief Data Analyst Steve Kornacki. Steve, you've got an update on the race in Iowa, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, as the polls are now closed, so we don't have any votes yet, but hopefully this thing is going to light up soon. Again, the Senate race here, all eyes are on this. Ashley Hinson expected to win the Republican nomination. Question on the Democratic side of will it be Josh Turek or Zach Walz here? By the way, as the vote comes in tonight, keep in mind, Turek is from the western part of the state. Walz's base is right here around Iowa City. That's a big county. In fact, we just got a little bit of vote in. It is from Turek's part of the state here. This is
really
small
puts on
here,
a show
okay?
when
Carroll
he's on the
County
big
here,
show.
but you just got a chunk of the voting in Carroll County. It's a 4-1 margin for Turek over Walz. Again, that's the only thing that we have right now, so we show it for you. That's obviously a very strong number for Turek, expected to some degree because he's going to, again, western Iowa is sort of his base here. His political base is in, Pottawatomie County, but, these are, a place like Carroll County is small, but a bunch of Carroll counties can add up. That's a very, it's a very early initial number, but obviously that's an encouraging one there for Turek. But again, his big base here in western Iowa is Pottawatomie County. Walz is right here, Johnson County, where the University of Iowa is. And this is going to be, if this race is at all competitive, right here, Polk County, where the state capital is. This is 25% of the vote. This is a quarter of the vote in a Democratic primary in Iowa. So if East meet West and we've got a competitive race, this big city in the center of Iowa there
unless
would
something
decide.
like insane happens. They're hitting all their benchmarks in all the different counties, and they're doing really well overall. Hamawi's doing really, really, really fucking well right now. They're hitting all their benchmarks. Depending on polls close at 11 p.m. Are you going all night? No, dude, I'm not. I'm not going to go all night. Oh, yeah.
The numbers reign on the big board. Steve Kornacki will be checking back with you in just a bit. Joining us now to break.
Okay. I'm sorry. I was just trying. I was unclear if they wanted the 3rd district, and I was trying to figure out.
They were just trying to go through the calls at the top of the hour, and we did put in some calls for those unopposed races, and that's what the guidance was. But we're on the other side of it. We do have new vote in this race, in the governor's race.
We got
South Dakota governor's race.
We got governor's vote.
Yeah.
Yes, we've got Carroll County. And Randy, now, of course, this is, Feenstra represents the 4th district of Iowa, so we're in Feenstra territory here. And though it is interesting here that we expect his main opposition to come from Zach Lund, who's actually running in 3rd right here. But again, we don't want to read too much into it, but this is just part of the vote in one small county here. But Feenstra leading there, his neck of the woods, and remembering that 35% is the threshold here. Candidates got to get above that 35%. Do we get more in NJ12?
We got about 190 votes in Mercer County.
Okay. And what did they look like? It was
Reynolds Jackson gets the share of them at 42%.
Same day votes.
Appears that way. Yeah.
And Hamawi was second, or does he?
He gets 18%. I don't know if that was second.
Okay, it's a small number of votes here, but again, we're here now because this has become the competitive story of the moment. It's going to shift here. I will not spend the hour on NJ12. I was just trying to see if we can get us to resolution, but it is like the news has been, if you're Hamawi, the news has been very good and very encouraging for you. Cohen showed some life here in Middlesex County, but now we've gotten a big chunk of the same day vote reported out there, and it's not been as good for him as that early vote was, and he needs it to be better than the early vote was, or otherwise he would need to offset it somewhere else. We're certainly not seeing him offset it in the small part there in Plainfield. He's not offsetting it in Mercer. Where we were in Somerset. So this right now is advantage Hamawi until and unless something changes. And if it doesn't, as we said, he had the most money behind him of any of these candidates.
Wrap it up. Stop coping. Stop coping. Oh, he had the most money behind him. Stop coping. Stop coping.
Right now, as of right now. So Adam will alert me if we get anything
significant. Lobster was too buttery. Oh, Adam Hamawi. His steak was too juicy.
Shifting to where the action is this hour. The much discussed Iowa. I keep getting the 4th district.
Enough with the sauce,
the 4th
Kornacki.
district here. So much airtime here tonight. This is the safe Republican district.
Oh, he got too much money. He raised too much. He raised too much. His weed is too loud. His bitches are too bad. It's Adam Hamawi.
Okay, now we got Lee County. Okay, so, again, this is small. We've gotten 2 small counties here, but we said, is there going to be an east-west divide?
Keep looking at Iowa, Steve. Keep looking at Iowa, Steve. Steve is holding on to Iowa for dear life. He's like, I don't want to see this race anymore. This Hamawi race is not looking too good for us, folks. Here at NBC News, let's look at Iowa. 8 cows voted in this race. It was very fun, very cool. Never been done before.
In a primary. This is 25% of all the vote in the state. This is a quarter of the vote, okay? And again, we've got 3 counties. 2 of them are small rural, and 1 of them is the biggest of big counties.
Yeah, he's like, we can't keep talking about that. Who some people are saying was Al-Qaeda and might have done 9/11. Not entirely sure about that one. Read an article, said he was at 9/11, possibly inside of the plane, maneuvering it in the direction of the Twin Towers. Who knows?
Okay. I mean, this is, yeah. You're not seeing a geographic divide in these 4 at all. You're just seeing big Turek numbers. Now, again, Lynn County, Johnson County, Cedar Rapids, Iowa City here. These are big.
You said, look at these districts. They're just shaped like farms. They can't even gerrymander properly. Buddy, it's because the state is white. Okay? That's why it's not gerrymandered. Because it's just white. Notice how when a state is entirely white, the districts look so perfect. That's because everyone is white in the state.
We've gotten just a few reports from a few counties here, but so far those reports are very emphatic. And again, Josh Turek, who is a state
never mind. Those are county, not
representative
districts. My mistake. My mistake. Actually, I don't know. I don't know what Iowa's gerrymandering looks like. Didn't they ban gerrymandering in Iowa? I don't fucking know. I don't know enough about Iowa.
I'm just legislative district.
Get back to Adam Homowy.
Is of all the Democrats in the Iowa State legislature, there's no more pro-Trump district that any of them represent than Turek in Pottawatomie County in western Iowa. So he's been selling Democrats the idea that a candidate like that can win a state like this. Certainly seems that Democrats in Iowa are buying into that. And as we said, we didn't expect Ashley Hinson, Congresswoman Ashley Hinson on the Republican side.
In his home county of Middlesex.
You could just see here the 4 counties.
He's not leading any county, but his support has been consistent across the district and could run better in election day.
5 counties, I should say, all pretty similar. 3-1 lead, a little bit better than 3-1 lead for Hinson. So you got Hinson, as completely expected, winning or leading in her Republican primary by a wide margin, but not by a margin that far off. Turek right now over Walz in the Democratic primary.
Still, look,
gubernatorial primary in Iowa. Let's check in.
My point
That
still
means if we got
stands
Polk
about it
County,
being objectively a very white state, and therefore
Adam
not
Steen,
being.
right? Okay, so now
there's nothing
this is where it starts to get a little
gerrymander
more,
over.
A little bit more interesting here. You're looking at statewide. Steen is running in second, and Lon is running in third. So in Feenstra, remember to keep in mind the 35%
First
number.
tiers are coming
as that
through.
Comes in tonight. Feenstra, Trump endorsed 34%.
It's absolutely disgraceful that National Democrats did not come out and ostracize Adam Homowy the way they rightfully did with anti-Semite Maureen Galindo.
This is a pretty big one.
The only difference is Galindo was running in a competitive Texas 35 district, and Democrats wanted us to nominate a more electable candidate, while Homowy is running in a safety district, and whoever wins the Dem primary will win the general regardless. So no one wanted to stick their neck out and denounce a loon who literally worked for Al Qaeda and Hamas. New Jersey's about to elect an Al Qaeda operative to the United States Congress.
Some number of early votes that had already been cast. Republicans going to the polls not knowing that Feenstra was
editor
Trump's
of
candidate.
RRH Elections, a Republican blog for election news.
Get reported out first. Is the possibility that the initial batch it might get friendlier to Feenstra as you get to the same day vote. We always talk about how the same day vote tends to be more pro-Trump, more sort of Trump aligned. We see this in Republican primaries. Well, this is Trump's candidate, okay? And he didn't endorse him until the Friday before the election after the early voting period had started. So that's something to keep in mind. Is that going to, as Feenstra moves over the 35% mark, I guess we just got Webster, as Feenstra moves over that 35% mark. So we'll keep that in mind. Democratic Senate primary, call that back up. Means we got one more county, nothing changing there. Want to take our trip to South Dakota?
And head over there. There is a vote.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go to South Dakota. I want to see.
Let's call it up.
I want to see the beautiful South Dakotans.
Republican primary.
Dusty Johnson
the
doing great against Toby Doden.
Of the vote here.
And Larry Roden, the incumbent's doing poorly.
Centers here, well, this isn't,
Dusty Johnson.
Sioux Falls here. Sioux Falls is
John
the biggest county in the
Hanson.
state. Minnehaha County, biggest county in Iowa. right down going up north, Brookings County. These are some big population center counties.
Hell yeah, big population, not a lot of cows there.
Yeah, South Dakota is split between 2 time zones here. So the polls were actually closed an hour earlier in the eastern part of the state. They just couldn't report anything out until Mountain Time. But these are just small counties largely that we're seeing right now. As you can see, about 2,500, about 3,000 votes total counted. Just seeing Larry Roden. I mean, he is the interim governor right now. Hansen, the state house speaker. Doden, who's been running as sort of Doden leading in 4 counties. Doden's
Dude,
been running
what
as sort
are
of the
these
populist
names,
Trump-aligned
man?
candidate.
Toby Doden, Dusty Johnson,
too.
Larry Roden.
Really, that's kind of powering his performance.
John Harrison.
Again, 35% the number.
I love.
While you're doing governors, we
I
also
love
got
me
our
some
first
South
report in
Dakota.
New Mexico, Santa Fe has our first report as well.
We want to put New Mexico on the map here.
Yeah.
All right.
It's funny. They're like, South Dakota, you got the speaker of the state legislature, Herbert Honden.
Bregman in this primary, but yeah, we just got a big chunk of the. I mean, look at that. It's Denton County times 2. So we said we didn't expect much drama. We didn't expect much suspense in New Mexico, and look, it was already in that Democratic gubernatorial primary, and Deb Haaland with a as expected advantage right there. New Jersey 12, nothing new.
Not since our last update at the top of the hour.
Dump.
No.
Okay,
Dump.
let's go
Dump.
back to
Top of the hour,
Iowa
6-second
and
outbreak. Dump.
Just kind of live in the Democratic.
How am I feeling for Shoykot's chances tonight? I don't know. I have no idea because Nancy Pelosi coming out and endorsing Connie Chen means that Connie Chen wasn't doing well, but obviously Nancy Pelosi is a big mover in the district. So who knows? I have no idea. I have no idea what will happen in Shoykot's race. What is this? Jeffrey stopped short of saying he will support Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Oh, shit. Amid anger over a decision to run a black majority district, saying he hasn't made a decision as it relates to that particular race. Everybody has a right to run where they see fit. This comment had some House Dem shock. Jeffries is known for always supporting incumbents. He's never done that. Yeah, no shit. That is literally Debbie Wasserman Schultz biting off way more than she could chew. Like, it's a black district. It's a black district. Everybody already hates her. Like, this is an opportunity to run a black candidate. Of course, Hakeem Jeffries is going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? And yes, technically not an incumbent because all of the districts are being rewrote right now. But it's good for us because there is actually a progressive. There's a black socialist running there too. There were a lot of late deciders because of the governor's race, which means those late decisions have an impact on other races down ballot, including Congress. The AIPAC thing swayed a non-zero number of leftists who were planning on supporting Connie before the weekend. Anecdotally speaking, even today's E-Day vote started slow and sped up. Later in the day, we shall see, hopefully. Dusty Johnson.
Do you feel any of this?
I do get allergy, but it hasn't affected me these past couple of weeks.
This has been brutal. I keep thinking it's like a sinus infection or
ragweed, grass.
What is it? Pollen?
Pollen.
It's got to be pollen, right?
I don't know. I don't know what your allergy situation is.
They put me on Singulair today. I don't know if that's going to do anything. Okay.
No, I don't even think Hakeem Jeffries is actually concerned that a Democratic Socialist can win in that district. I think there is also other viable black candidates that want to run in that district, and he's probably pissed off that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is trying to fucking stake a claim into that district instead. So it has nothing to do with his fears of a Democratic Socialist winning. Obviously, he wouldn't like it if it was his name Elijah, right? Let me see. Is it Elijah Manley? Yeah, Elijah Manley, I think. Yeah, Elijah Manley is running in that district. He's an organizer. Stop muting allergy medication talk. Okay, calm down. Yeah. Elijah Manley is a great candidate running in Florida 20. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is carpetbagging to Florida 20. He says a black opportunity district instead of running in her own. DWS is everything. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is everything that's wrong with the Democratic establishment, from insider trading to payday lenders. I look forward to retiring her from public office permanently. So, obviously, I don't think Hakeem Jeffries would love if it's Elijah Manley winning that, but his gripe with Debbie Wasserman Schultz is that there are other, more centrist black candidates that are running in that district as well. DW has been at the scene of the crime every single fucking vote that cracked down on Israel criticism and invited more warmongering and increased presidential powers, giving Trump a loaded gun. She needs to lose. You know, if Shoykot wins, you have to personally thank Megaphonics. It was all his doing. Yeah. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is black? No, she's not. What is this? Page cannot be found. Black candidates, including Manley, coordinating who is running against Debbie. Yeah. Sir Hype says, can't confirm Megaphonics is responsible if Shoykot wins or loses. Yeah. If Shoykot doesn't make it into the top 2, we are doing a struggle session with Megaphonics. That's the inverse. See, people are asking, why aren't you out canvassing? Good question. Why are you in here right now? Why aren't you knocking on doors? Another dump, another dump, another dump, another dump. Dumps. Plus 0.4 for Adam Hamawi.
Dispatch.
Yeah. That's the most, right? Reynolds
Yeah,
Jackson.
that's what there's a little cutoff on my thing, but
yeah, but I mean, and again, that was how many votes?
2,300.
That was a ton of votes, right? Mercer's up near 60% right now. That's election day vote. Hamawi doing better with the election day vote than he did with the early vote here. And we said even what he got with the early vote was putting him on a course there that he wanted to be on. Zoom out there. Yeah, I mean, remember, we've been watching this. Remember when we first got Middlesex, Cohen moved ahead. Then, Hamawi, I think, was about 23-20 we were looking at it is what's in my head, when pretty much the early vote had come in from everywhere. And we said that was a pace that Hamawi wanted to be on. The pace has quickened for Hamawi since then as this election day vote has come in. We've seen that in Middlesex. We've seen that we've seen that in Middlesex. We've seen that in Mercer. We're still stuck at 46% here in Somerset County.
We just got a poke in our Iowa Republican governors as well.
That's big. Let's get out there to Iowa. This is going to land me in, our friend, the 4th District. Okay. We want the governor's race. We want the Republican primary. We want Polk County. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now we say 25% of the vote in a Democratic primary comes out of Polk. Polk is the biggest on the Republican side, although right next door is Dallas. That's significant, too. So this is about 15% of the vote in the Republican primary is going to come out of Polk County. Again, this is where Des Moines is, the state capital. We just got most of the Republican.
They're gonna eventually call it. Yeah, Decision Desk called it. Progressive Adam Hamawi has won the Democratic primary in New Jersey 12 against a split field. The result adds to a string of recent victories for progressive candidates following the elections of Anna Lilia Mejia, Chris Rabb, as the squad continues to expand. Yeah, I mean, once the same day votes started, like E-Day votes started coming, and he had a big marginal improvement, it was pretty over. The rally bump for the E-Day vote. Okay, guys, no, it's not. Let's calm down, okay? We didn't do this with our community. Adam Hamawi is a great candidate, and he had literally the most solid fundamentals. You're 3 for 3 on candidates. You left the state to support Zoran, Rabb, Hamawi. Get ready to buy some plane tickets, buddy. I think every time an anti-Zionist candidate wins, I feel like I just see myself getting assassinated by an Israeli drone strike. That's why I'm not celebrating too hard. That's right. Adam Hamawi, Decision Desk is calling it. Now, it hasn't been officially called elsewhere. Hopefully we didn't prematurely, celebrate, but pretty sure it's coming. Decision Desk has already called it. Vote Hub projects that it's Adam Hamawi. Ladies and gentlemen, is it just me, or is this one of the biggest years ever for progressive leftist politicians in Congress? Like, it feels like even more of a groundswell than ever before, and all the candidates are actually... Yeah, it is pretty big. What is this? Another Harvard-Harris poll? In the Israel-Hamas conflict, do you support Israel or Hamas more? By age, 18 to 24, Hamas 54%. Ages 25 to 34, Israel 57, Hamas 43%. Okay, guys, you can't show me shit like this because... I'm literally going to get assassinated. Okay. We can't be looking at stuff like this because I'm sorry, but I think this is literally the type of shit that, more dumps coming in for Adam Hamawi. New Adam dumps. Iran took out Trump's buddy's boat. Motherfucker thinks he's the reason there's an increase in anti-Israel sentiment. No, I don't. I don't think I'm the reason. But unfortunately, people in positions of power do think I'm the reason. I'm not the fucking reason. And also, that's not just an increase in anti-Israel sentiment. That's a little bit different. Hamawi flips Middlesex County with more E-Day votes. E-Day vote in Middlesex. I'm telling you, it's a wrap. It's over. It's over. Hamawi wins. Wow. What a fucking race, dude. They're going to have to update this to a winning candidate. Yeah, a winning candidate's past ties to a militant cleric are surfacing in a New Jersey House race. It's crazy. Yes, the Piker Broadcasting Service has already called it for Adam Hamawi. Okay? The Piker Broadcasting Service has already called it for Adam Hamawi. We had the Outflank Vote Hub and Decision Desk. Yeah, we're all electoralists today. One Piece fan too. Yep, look at that. He's got the button on him and everything. Hamawi's winning precincts in Cohen's hometown of East Brunswick. Also another big AV E-Day split. Wow. Hamawi's sitting close at plus 10 right now. More dumps coming in. Oh my God. What a fucking night. What a night so far. And it's just beginning too. It's just beginning, folks. Join the official DDHQ Discord. You think I want to be around fucking election nerds? Are you insane? Are you out of your dang mind? Oh, shit. I let it run out instead of just, fuck. God damn it. It's like a 1 second. Wait, can I just hit the elements? Fuck. Oh, there it is. Okay, I cracked it. I cracked it. There you go. I'm in. I destroyed the paywall. You're an election nerd, you fool? No, I'm not an election nerd. Most of election Twitter hate me. Click the button on the URL, clear site data or incognito. Anyway, whatever. Yeah. Can you do one more quick reminder for California voters before polls close at 8 p.m.? If Shoykot wins tonight, we're throwing something on the grill. Remember, Shoykot's not going to win first position. He's just trying to get to second place.
Election day vote. And Hamawi's he's running away with the election day vote. So he's closing the gap. I would expect he'd probably leapfrog her in the next batch here to take the lead in Mercer, on top of having a big day with the election day vote in Middlesex, where he's now leapfrogged Brad Cohen. That's his home base. He's got the lead there. We just don't have the same day vote from Somerset County. But I mean, you could see what's probably likely coming here, right? Like, given what's happening in Mercer, given what's happening in Middlesex, why wouldn't Hamawi also do better with the election day vote once that starts coming in Somerset County and move in front there? And again, what that's done district-wide, he's now opened up a lead here. It's approaching 9 points, approaching 5,000 votes, almost to the point where I'm looking at Adam for the signal that I should stay on the page. Are we that, like...
No insight on that, but yeah, you've been telling us the trends.
You know how that goes. We've probably figured out our language by now. When I think there might be one of those check marks coming, I might kind of, tap dance here for a minute or two. Thinking I thought that update might, but it's not there yet. That's the decision desk, our College of Cardinals. The plumes of smoke will come at some point right here, and all will be revealed. So I will go back to I think we can see
where's Harry Emdem
heading there.
Fucking
back to Iowa,
ass.
where the Senate race is set. We've gotten more updates, which means the governor's race we should check back in on. And I can see here, Lon continuing to lead. Can you see what came in? Did somebody come in the last few minutes, or did
Woodbury was our
Woodbury was the last big one?
Yeah, it was our.
From
and then we
this
got
one, pick
500 votes.
So there was a little bit more to come out of Polk.
Yeah.
I see they put him over 10,000 votes. It's a very good number for him right there.
Lose one of its two majority black districts
yeah,
that are right now currently represented by black Democratic members of Congress. My political sources are back with me along with my legal
CBS
source,
fired
Ellie
Scott
Honey.
Pelley.
And Ellie, I mean, obviously I'm from Alabama.
This comes after Pelley confronted 60 Minutes new
executive
executive producer Nick Bilton in a meeting yesterday and said Barry Weiss was trying to murder the program.
Primaries. Now that the Supreme Court is coming down with this ruling, what stands out to you?
Well, Caitlin, so heading into tonight, Alabama had a map where of the 7 congressional districts in Alabama, 2 of those had been drawn to be majority black Democrat.
I can't believe he got a gif of me wearing the Cuomo Fauci hat, too.
And this is all based off of the Louisiana Supreme Court opinion that came down in late April.
I dare Dave to post that on Blue Sky. Wait, do they hate me on Blue Sky? I think Blue Sky is hot and cold on me. Thank Megaphonics for electing Hamawi. Megaphonics didn't do anything for Adam Hamawi, okay? We'll see if he actually wins or loses tonight with Shoykot. If Shoykot doesn't make it to second place, it's Megaphonics' ass on the line. He's getting fucking banned. They hate you, dude. Wait, they do? They hate me at Blue Sky? Wait, why? Is Blue Sky all Zionist? Like, what the fuck's wrong with Blue Sky? We love you on Blue Sky. I feel like I'm hot and cold on Blue Sky. I don't think it's like, they just don't fuck with Grant Plattner. Nowadays, it seems like everybody hates you. I don't understand it. Buddy, it's because of what you're watching right now. Okay? That's why. There's a lot of, there are a lot of institutional forces that are actively trying to do everything, firing off on all cylinders to be like, this is the worst person around. There's no one worse than this fucking guy. It happens.
While I'm talking,
but we keep pushing, baby. You already know. We keep pushing.
But things are going to speed up very quickly. So first, as always, thank you for watching this. And I really hope over the next 2.5 hours or so, 3 hours or so, you stay with us, because this has sort of been the appetizer. You know, we were talking about when to.
I think we are.
Oh, my big dialogue with the audience is being interrupted. Oh my gosh! I missed the moment. And NBC News decision desk has declared that in New Jersey's 12th congressional district, Democrat Adam Hamawi has won his party's primary. This is the race to succeed the retiring Democrat Bonnie Watson Coleman.
Let's fucking go! Woo!
I'll see district that Kamala Harris carried by 23 points in 2024. So you would consider this, you would classify this as a safe Democratic seat in the general election. Hamawi will advance to that general election. As we said, he just ultimately here, there's a breadth to his support. These other candidates had geographic, very clear, pronounced, sharp geographic limits to their support. Hamawi's support spread out really across this district.
All right, now that,
with that one exception there.
Now that Steve also called it, I can retweet the fucking HasanAbi Productions. Now that he called it.
Palestine Super PAC came in on his behalf. There's been some controversy around Hamawi that has made national news stemming from his relationship, his ties with Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman.
Okay, bro. You seem to know a lot about his ties to Sheikh, the blind Sheikh, but not talking about his veteran background for some reason.
Certainly. There was some media attention on that. Some of his opponents brought that up. But ultimately here you could see Democratic voters here, or enough of the Democratic voters here, because Hamawi's probably, you know, if this lands at about 30%, I wouldn't be surprised. Enough Democrats in a crowded field are good with Hamawi being their nominee here, and very likely their next congressman. So with that, we will just remind you of the other major thing that happened in New Jersey earlier tonight. 7th District, Tom Kean Jr., the Republican here, Rebecca Bennett, as the polls had suggested, nominated as the Democratic candidate. It will be Bennett. It will be Kean in the general election. With that, I'm going to move off of New Jersey. We're going to say, we're going to wave goodbye to the Garden State, okay? We say we've paid enough tolls.
God damn, dude.
We enjoyed having you pump our gas for us. And we're going to go out to Iowa, where again, to recap what just happened here, Josh Turek, state representative from Western Iowa, nominated by the Democrats for the U.S. Senate. He's going to oppose Ashley Hinson, Congresswoman. She easily, as expected, wins her primary. Potentially a competitive race this fall.
Bernie on CNN after the break. Nice.
Competitive race this fall. But again, this is a state that Donald Trump carried by 13 points. And just to underscore the situation for Democrats here nationally and how this fits in, if you do the Senate math, right, maybe we'll just put it up on the screen here. With the Democrats, they want to take the Senate. They need to flip 4 seats, right? So what are the first thing they got to do is they got to hold on to Georgia. That's no guarantee Democrats are holding on to Georgia. They got to hold on to Michigan, right? Michigan's got that Democratic primary on August 4th. We'll see what happens there. There's no guarantee Democrats are holding on to Michigan. And the outcome of that primary, we'll talk more about that as it comes in, could have some ramifications for that. So first thing, if Democrats want that for is they got to win Georgia, they got to win Michigan. That's just so they don't lose any ground. Then they got to start gaining ground. And the state that obviously gets mentioned first and foremost there is the only seat up this year held by a Republican that Trump didn't win. That's
Bro,
me.
look at this. Look at this. I work for DDHQ. Would you collab with us? Look, do you see? This is why election Twitter is crazy, okay? What are we going to collab on, chatter? I don't know. I don't know what you want me to collab with you guys on. Stop the right-wing propaganda by Hasan. Why do you promote right-wing ideology by idolizing or framing things as a positive or fun when it is not? I can't tell. Are you saying jokes are reactionary?
Who are these 4? And these 4 states all have something in common. They all went for Trump in 2024 by double digits.
Stop.
That's the Democratic Senate path, right?
Stop linking things that link back to a fucking clear docs. Please stop being stupid.
That Trump carried by double digits. So will Iowa be a state that's competitive this fall? I think National Democrats got the candidate they wanted tonight, but that's still a big if. So that's the story there in Iowa in the Senate race. Governor's race will check back in. Again, 35% threshold here. We got something?
No. Again, just a reminder. At 9:55 is when we do over at 3A. Okay. So it's up to you how you kind of want to budget your minutes over here.
Good point.
We will have lots of Steve content coming up on the Kornacki cam, but it'll be from our studio right next door to us.
Good point. So we did the Republican governor's race right here. We're going to show our friends in South Dakota again. Not much has changed there. We told you the big population centers, 35% threshold, both of these governor's races. We showed you what had already happened in New Mexico. We took Montana's first district is interesting, but we don't think we're going to get much out of there at all tonight. And so 79 minutes from now, 78 minutes and 37 seconds from now, polls are going to close in California. And as we get to about 10 o'clock, as Adam said, we are going to walk next door. You're going to see all this. We're going to walk next door. The News Now specials are going to begin. And really the thrust of that is going to be counting down to California. Because, again, the way things work in California, we talk about it being a slow vote counting state. It's true. Once they get about 2/3 of the vote in, it slows down and it can take days. Why? There's all those late arriving vote by mail ballots that it's torturously slow. And you routinely have House races that take weeks to get called. But the first third of the vote, 2/3 of the vote or so, is going to come real fast and furious, starting at 11 o'clock. And these counties will light up real quick. How quick? 2024 presidential election, Orange County, okay? Orange County, right down here. Orange County, right down here. It's one of the biggest in the state. It's like 10% of all the votes in the state out of Orange County. And 6 minutes after poll close, we got half the vote out of Orange County. Okay? 2021, you remember the recall attempt of Gavin Newsom? Polls closed in California, right down here in San Diego County. That's also like 10% of the vote statewide. We got that within, I want to say, like 3 minutes, something like that.
Very
right?
Steyer losing because normies finally realized not to vote for a billionaire in one situation. It is maybe okay. It's so fucking funny. I don't even want to talk about that. Okay, Brad Cohen fans are losing it right now.
Yeah, I did. Dude, oh my God, bro.
This is Brad Cohen headquarters.
Why don't I draft the? You know what, bro?
Brad Cohen headquarters, live from Brad Cohen headquarters.
This fucking shit, man. Fuck this shit, dog.
Yeah, they're not having a good night over there at Brad Cohen headquarters. Adam, after learning about Adam Hamawi's victory.
Enough clarity to start making calls, right? So we're going to be looking here in this governor's race in California. Top two primary, okay, regardless of party, they're all running on the ballot. You've seen the polling. Tom Steyer, Javier Becerra, the two Democrats, plus Steve Hilton, Republican. They've kind of been the top three. Now, could be a surprise tonight. Somebody else jumps up. One of them falls down. Certainly. But that's sort of been the dynamic. Does Hilton get through to one of those spots in the general election, or do Becerra and Steyer manage to both get enough to lock him out? Still a very Democratic state right here. Certainly, if you're Steyer, if you're Becerra, the dream for you tonight is to get one of those two spots and to have the other one go to Hilton, because you think the political gravity of California being so Democratic would carry you then. But certainly a possibility that you could have two Democratic candidates here advance to the general election. Geographically, we'll talk about this more. It's going to be really interesting when the votes start coming in. L.A. County, right? That's the political base of Becerra. He was a member of Congress before he joined the Biden administration. It's like a fifth of all the vote in the state is going to come out of L.A. County. Okay, then you go up here to the San Francisco Bay Area, not just San Francisco itself, but all those Bay Area counties up there. That's about a fifth of the vote. And that's where Steyer lives, and that's where you expect Steyer to do better. So it almost becomes a bit of a battle of geography here. Is Becerra squeezing more out of L.A. County, or is Steyer squeezing more out of San Francisco County? Are they both squeezing out enough that it's going to hurt a guy like Hilton, who's got to do better sort of in northern inland California? Really interesting what the numbers are like in the Central Valley, in the San Joaquin Valley for Hilton tonight. And also maybe complicating things for Hilton. This is a big piece of real estate down here, Riverside County. This is one of the biggest counties in the United States of America by population. That's where the other main Republican, Chad Bianco, is the sheriff. And Hilton's been trying to send messages in the final days of this campaign to Republican voters to give up on Bianco, to coalesce, to unite around him, to make sure that there's a Republican in the general election. So that's a big question. Like in his base of Riverside County, which is a huge area, how is Bianco doing? Is it going to negatively affect Hilton as he tries to get one of those two spots? So, and then sometime those counties, as they light up with that vote by mail and then that poll place vote, at some point, Los Angeles County will light up. And holy cow, is that going to be a big moment? We're going to be watching this thing hopefully like a hawk. And if I'm not, Adam is. Both of us. Because the second that LA County lights up, maybe it's 11:30, 11:40, 11:20, I don't know. Whenever it is, you're going to get obviously some clarity in the governor's race. You're going to get the LA mayor's race. That's when the LA mayor's race comes in here. Karen Bass, the incumbent, Spencer Pratt, Nithya Raman. I think you're probably familiar with the basic dynamics here. It's the same as the governor's race. It's essentially the same. If nobody gets an outright majority tonight, and really nobody expects that one of these candidates is going to do that, the top two advance to the runoff. Can Spencer, but how real, the polling has shown Pratt making some moves here, certainly, into the 20s, and I think overperforming where the expectations were at the start of his campaign.
What is Bernard saying?
How real is that?
In terms of how this works, some of these companies might just see this and say, if this legislation passes, I'm just going to move my
he's talking about the 50% stake in AI companies. Never mind. We're election night right now.
You're getting half the vote in LA County. You're probably getting half the vote in the mayoral race in Los Angeles. And then shortly thereafter, you're going to get that polling place vote. So we'll probably in that first 90 minutes or so get, 2/3 of the vote out of the city of Los Angeles.
Stu Smith.
And we may have a sense some of those questions about
Stu Smith is just now clipping my bits. Hassan Piker sounded genuinely offended that a British-born Republican might advance in the California governor's race. I cannot believe that there's a British guy who's possibly going to make it to the top two. What a shame. What a fucking shame. Then he goes full stop the boast like he's Bill the Butcher, which is pretty rich coming from someone who happily boosts foreign-born progressives and socialists when they are on his side. Mamdani, Quiroz, Omar, Rahman, all fine. But Hilton, who was naturalized only 3 years after Mamdani, suddenly Hasan is an immigration hawk. Why? Because this immigrant has an R next to his name. Yeah, I quote retweeted this and I said, Stu might be too neurodivergent to understand this, but this is also known as a joke. Comedy is legal now. Like, he sincerely clipped this. Look what a fucking shame. I don't think people are rocking with Tucker Carlson, but included in the British fucking boats, dude. That's what I say. Stop the fucking boats, lad. We got too many British people coming in here, ruining the fucking state that I love. What happened to fucking Brexit, yeah? What about Calexit? Calexit means fucking Calexit, lad. No more British people coming in, stealing our jobs, yeah? They're coming in here and they're stealing good American jobs, yeah? How many fucking British people play American accents in Hollywood? Like, I can't believe he posted this. And he's like, wow, he's being quite racist. Stu's probably in the bath right now, manually clipping your shit. What is this trash ass clip? Yeah, normally he knows how to edit them to make it seem like he cuts the dead air out. He cuts like other parts out usually. I like that I have to always be like, I'm joking. For all the autistic clippers getting paid by the Manhattan Institute or Fox News, I am joking. And then when the joke is over, when the joke is already to go, end joke. Scott Pelley fired. I can't imagine CBS maintaining any news credibility after this 60-minute shit show. I feel like they just don't. What is this? Hassan Piker says no one has a retort to Hamas 1,000 times better than Israel. The retort is obvious. Hamas and Hezbollah's ideologies have helped destroy their own civilians' futures. So no, who killed more civilians is not the moral question. Okay, dude. Good one. He said, it doesn't matter who killed more civilians. That's not what matters. What matters is ideology. Oh, okay, got it. So their ideology is liberation. Toby Doden. Supremacy. Toby Doden. 29% against Larry Roden. And Dusty Johnson in a close third. And John Hanson with no shot. Toby Doden. Doobie Doobie. Here we have socialist Marxist streamer HasanAbi clearly making fun of white people and their naming conventions. Why does he hate? Why does he hate South Dakota? What is this? Guys, please stop. Please stop posting the New York Post docs, please. Are you anti-Dakota? You just don't know his game, bro?
Hardworking people have been left behind, forgotten by the powerful and the politicians. But President Trump is standing up for us. He's inspired me
Dude, he's awesome. Toby Downey. Hell yeah, brother. I hope you ban abortions or something. I don't know.
To get into the fight.
I hope you ban Mexicans and abortions. Mexicans having abortions.
I've created thousands of jobs right here in South Dakota. As governor, I'll get spending under control and fight back against.
Toby Doden says we got a big border crisis in South Dakota. Them North Dakotans are coming over the border. We're gonna put an end to that goddamn bullshit. He has gout, and his name means death in German. What Doden means? What a beautiful and rotund man. Yeah, he's incredible. I love his shape. He's got a great shape. I know the top of his belly is slammed against the bottom of the table. Oh yeah. Resident South Dakotan here. Unfortunately, Doden is a fucking slumlord who seemingly has fucked over many tenants. He pretty much just wants to run to give property tax breaks to himself, his properties, and his rich friends. He's anti-education. He'll suck Trump's ding dong. He probably has. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're in South Dakota. There's not really much else to do there. I'm sorry.
Any comment on the meeting overall?
Are you with the Republican Party? Are you talking about morality and corruption with President Trump? Have a nice day.
That was quite a moment.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, if I may. There was a mob of media there, worried about Graham Plattner's marriage and his texts. Meanwhile, we are not talking about why one person in America owns more wealth than the bottom 53%. How often do we discuss that on CNN?
Can we talk about both? I mean,
of course you could talk about both, but I think what people are saying, we are the only major country not to guarantee health care to all people. All right, how often do we talk about that?
but can I ask you on Graham Plattner? I mean, I think you can talk about both. I think just because there are major issues,
you can talk about both, but I have never seen a mob of media interested in whether or not health care.
As well, not just reporters. Those are protesters.
No, but there were a whole lot of reporters there.
But can I ask you, in terms of Graham Plattner himself, you're standing by him.
He's like, why are they not doing a naked protest for health care?
The tattoo, the post from online.
Unc,
are you
what are
worried
you
about
saying?
anything else coming out about him?
I don't know. All I can say is, look, I'm sure he's not a saint. And by the way, let's not forget, he has acknowledged, this guy served 4 tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. He went through some very bloody and horrible situations. He has acknowledged that he came back with PTSD. He had a share of problems. You know, I just think, and by the way, I met his wife, Amy, who is a very lovely young woman. She is standing by her husband. And I think it's better for this country that we start focusing on the enormous crises facing working people, a corrupt political system, than spending so much time worrying about, the personal life of an individual.
Senator Bernie Sanders, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. We also have some breaking news on this election night in America, as CNN can now project that the state representative, Josh Turek, will win the Democratic nomination for the United States Senate in Iowa.
Give me Toby Durden.
Walls and a hard-fought race that underscored Democratic Party divisions. Turek is a 2-time Paralympic.
I don't care about Josh Turek. I don't care about Iowa. I only care about South Dakota.
Henson, who is projected to win the Republican nomination. We're following those breaking news on this election night in America. We're also getting major breaking news tonight out of CBS. As Scott Pelley has just been fired from 60 Minutes.
That's crazy, by the way.
Stelter has the termination.
Like, what remains of 60 Minutes at this point is nothing. I mean, this guy's literally like one of the faces of 60 Minutes. Is actually crazy. And they fired him for being right. They literally were like, he had a conversation where he was like, Barry Weiss is trying to kill this fucking program. Barry Weiss is trying to kill this program. It's totally ridiculous. And they were like, all right, well, you're out. Fuck you. Yeah, only about 12 minutes left at this point. No more 60 minutes. We don't have time. New backstory on the drama at CBS News tonight. Barry Weiss, Nick Bilton, Tom Sabrowski, and CBS HR invited Scott Pelley to a meeting at 5 p.m. Eastern tonight to discuss a path forward after his vocal protest earlier this week in the 60 Minutes All Hands. The two sides did not find common ground. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why they couldn't find common ground, because one guy clearly sees exactly what's wrong with the program, and the other guy, the other side, is actually trying to destroy the program. He's right. Scott left Scott left the meeting and was told they'd have an update on his employment in a matter of minutes. Instead, Barry and her team deliberated for several hours. At around 9:30 p.m., Nick Bilton of the new 60 Minutes EP sent this letter to Scott, see tweet below, in which he tells them he has been terminated for cause. He also sent a memo to staff. See the tweet below that. The language in Nick's memo suggests a legal fight coming. No response yet from Pelly. I do have to say the amount of political capital being spent for or against Plattner is interesting. A senator that will just be a younger, more vigilant Bernie loyalist is very scary. Adnan Abdul and 3% of the United States fucking Senate is in our side. I can see why they're so scared. Yeah, everyone that brings up scandals on the centrist side against Graham Plattner is doing it because they're scared that he's anti-Israel. Okay? The only valid critique of Graham Plattner about his background is the fact that he was a veteran that did 4 tours and also joined fucking Blackwater and the Totem Cuff. Everything else is totally disingenuous, and most people do not give a fuck about that. They actually think the red flags, with the exception of the Totem Cuff, the red flags are actually not red flags, but green flags, right? For the average person and the average consultant. So yeah. Every single person that's like, oh, he has personality flaws. No, it's because you don't want to fucking say, you don't want to say that you don't like that he's Medicare for all, he's for Medicare for all, and he's also anti-Israel and he's anti-war. You don't like that. You don't like a Bernie-crat in the Senate under the D banner, and that's literally the reason. That is the only reason why you don't want him in office. Sorry, that's just the case. That's just, thing seems to be bothering voters in ways the other scandals didn't, but I also think it's the least consequential. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like there's no victim. You know what I mean? There's controversy. There's drama, right? People want to know more, but there is no victim. If the wife is like, yeah, I stand by my husband who I love, then what's the fucking misconduct there? You know what I mean? Like it was already a fixed problem in general, right? And the only reason why I think some voters might actually look at the hard disagree, Plattner might risk Dems losing with further scandals. No, he could have skeletons. He could, but so can every candidate, right? And part of the problem here is that, like, no one is perfect, okay? Because perfect candidates don't really exist. It's more so a matter of, are your skeletons going to come to the forefront, and are they going to consistently hammer you with said skeletons? Like the fact that Susan Collins cheated on her husband who died of cancer with her current husband. That's a scandal. Why does nobody talk about that? Because Susan Collins is a regular ass fucking Republican and no one really gives a shit. Do you understand? You can turn anything into a real scandal, right? You can turn anything into a real fucking scandal at the end of the day. They tried to do that with Zoran. It didn't work, right? They tried to do that with Zoran with the whole, oh, he rapped about the Holy Land 5, right? That was their, like, Zoran is actually pro-Al-Qaeda moment, right? So you can turn anything and everything into a scandal. I mean, people do that to me every fucking day. If you know, I mean, you've been in here for long enough, you probably realize, like, that's 98% of drama slop tubers will be like, oh, Hasan sneezed weird. Is he actually the Antichrist? So it's all a matter of policy at the end of the day. It's all a matter of policy at the end of the day. It's whether you're a team player or not. A lot of the manufactured outrage surrounding these quote-unquote scandals actually revolves around Democrats trying to also actively rat fuck Graham Plattner alongside the Republicans, right? That's what it is. I think the marriage thing actually registers a real thing. The white boomers who vote in Maine while they have no idea what the fuck a Reddit is. No, the reason why the marriage thing is like, it's not going to be impactful, I don't think. But the reason why they're trying to make it seem like it's impactful is because it's recent. And not recent as in like we just found out about it. It's because it's not from the grace period that he gave himself when he said like, oh, I was drinking a lot. I had a lot of problems, PTSD, all this stuff. There's like a grace period, PTSD period that he has. And the marriage scandal is a relatively recent scandal, as in like it happened more recently past the point of the grace period. So that's the reason why I think a lot of people are looking at that. And also cheating is a scandal that's like much more salient for people, right? And I think that's what it is. But I genuinely don't think it's like actually impactful. I don't think it's actually impactful as far as, what is this? Okay, now I really hope he wins. Adam Hamawi, Hamas, Adam Hamawi, Adam Hamway, Hasan. Adam Hamway, blind chic. Look at the sub-headline for this New York Times piece. Adam Hamawi, a progressive Democrat, wins House primary. A U.S. Army veteran faced questions about his past association with Egyptian cleric. Guys, come on, dude. Please. Please. Is there no editor at the New York Times that has a little bit of fucking decency, man? Really? 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 Like that's what you're doing? Fox News, plastic surgeon who testified for the 1993. I mean, this is the same as this, by the way. This is the more polite version of this.
Former communications director.
Have a little bit of fucking shame, man. You're the goddamn paper of record. Are you serious? Again, this is the unfortunate Zionist edit, okay? It sucks, but this is literally the Zionist edit. If you are an anti-Zionist, if you're anti-Israel, then all of the newspapers are going to cover you with your worst fucking moments. Maine reporter Andy O'Brien just implied that Susan Collins carried on a years-long affair with a man while his first wife was battling and dying from cancer. Oh, sorry. Susan Collins should be careful about throwing stones from glass houses when it comes to issues of infidelity. It's been an open secret in Washington, D.C. for decades, but the Wall Street Journal and New York Times have never probed into it. I wonder why. Yeah, the couple met in 1974 when Miss Collins was an intern at the office of Mr. Cohen, then a Maine congressman. The exact date of Thomas Daffrin's divorce from his first wife, Margot Corey, is not a matter of public record, though it occurred sometime prior to his marriage to U.S. Senator Susan Collins in August 2012. I got the things messed up. Susan Collins married a dude who is suspected of cheating on her husband, her wife having cancer. Also, none of these attacks actually make sense when Donald Trump is the fucking president. It's just like it's so silly. Yeah, I think people need to be a little bit more shameless. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about your background. I don't care. I care about your policies. Put the policies in the bag, little bro. Put the policies in the bag, okay? You're a fucking politician. Put the goddamn policies in the bag. Hamawi ad with you is so great.
Get yourselves. You don't have to be here, but you are here. You're not waiting for things to happen to you. You are making things happen for us.
New Jersey. They're afraid, fundamentally, of democracy. But now, with this new slate of insurgent candidates, with the likes of Dr. H, you now have an opportunity to vote for something rather than against.
Repeat after me. Patient before profit.
We need a leader who's going to say no. Helping humanity is not a crime, but bombing Gaza and bombing Iran and bombing Lebanon is a crime.
You know you're on the right side of history when they're coming at you. That's just what winning looks like.
We have a job to do. We have a mission to complete. We need to make sure that this seat stays with the people. Let's go do it. Let's win this race. Thank you very much.
Anyway, nasty business from the New York Times to do this, by the way. Like, again, he fucked Tammy Duckworth's life as a goddamn combat surgeon, dude. It's crazy. He was literally a first responder at 9/11. Okay, he went to Bosnia. He went to Gaza twice. He was shot at. His hospital was shot at by Israel with American munitions. And instead of doing any of that, instead of being like, this is one of the most decorated fucking candidates that is running, they turn around and they go, he's a terrorist. Oh, we have a terrorist, like subtly or not so subtly implying. It's the Zionist edit. It sucks. But that is how it works, okay? I'm going to tweet about it. But yeah, this is Dr. Adam Hamawi, likely heading to Congress. He served in a medical mission in Gaza while Israeli troops shelled hospitals and stopped them from receiving aid. American doctors in Gaza see up-close toll of war weapons on children. Trapped volunteers calling the U.S. to stop sending weapons to Israel as the closure of the Rafah border crossing cuts the flow of food and medical supplies. Hamawi said he saw a one-year-old girl with burns across 40% of her body, while her 3-year-old brother had burns across his arms, legs, and chest. 2 other siblings with less severe wounds being treated in a nearby field hospital. Hamawi amputated the 14-year-old boy's right leg below the knee before hearing the telltale whistle of a nearby airstrike through the window. Soon after, a girl Hamawi estimated to be 5 or 6 came in with a missing arm. A 4-year-old girl who came into the ER did not survive. And that was all before dinner time Thursday. This man has experienced the genocide. it's so disgusting to do this. It is so disgusting to do this, especially after he already fucking won the primary. You know who they would never do this for? Toby Durden. Sorry, I want to lighten the mood a little bit. Okay. Toby Dirty. Toby Duty. You know who they wouldn't do this for? Dusty Johnson. Did you see this fire writing? Oh, yeah. I mean, this is, yes, of course, this is a classic. It is said that just before the Sino-Soviet split, Nikita Khrushchev had a tense meeting with Zhou Enlai, at which he told the latter that he now understood the problem. I'm the son of coal miners, he said. You are the descendant of feudal mandarins. We have nothing in common. Perhaps we do, murmured his Chinese antagonist. What? Blustered Khrushchev. We are, responded Zhou, both traitors to our class. Yeah, this is Hassan Parker's father was a billionaire. Keir Starmer's father was a toolmaker. I know whose side I'm on. This is fucking why do you have to lie? His dad was not a billionaire. For attention mostly. Should have been there, brother. With Toby Doodin. Election night victory party. Please do not talk South Dakota politics. We are fucked over here and I'm trying so hard to win back a seat in the state legislature. Yeah, except Toby Durden. He's the one who's sweeping the state tonight. Trust me, this article faced a lot of pressure internally to publish. Combat surgeon. Did Adam Hamawi actually respond to 9/11 like directly, or did he actually treat the 9/11 first responders at ground zero? I don't want to fuck it up, you know. Lol, remember no vets here? Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that shit. Obviously, I work with veterans. I'm pretty sure he treated the first responders, but I don't know if he actually was on the ground, like it was at ground zero. I feel like he said he was at ground zero. Yeah. And he was in the field hospital at ground zero. Says he was a first responder treating. Oh, okay. Yeah. Shameful and racist byline. Anyway. Okay. Yeah. I said, New York Times, can you please have some decency about a decorated war veteran combat surgeon who saved Tammy Duckworth's life, who treated 9/11 first responders and was in Gaza during the genocide? I get that he's Muslim and anti-Zionist, but this is a shameful and racist subheader. Like it's crazy. Like he won. You got to give up at that point, right? Like you can't do that. You shouldn't have done that even before. You shouldn't have done that even before, right? Dear Scott Pelley, More Perfect Union is an Emmy award-winning journalism organization focused on holding the wealthy and powerful accountable. You could always work with us. Consider it an open invite. Okay, FaZe. Okay, FaZe Shaker. Damn, Avi Lewis posted about Hamawi. More proof that taking a principled stance on Israel's genocide is not a liability among the working class majority of this continent. Moral clarity is popular. The fuck is this, chatters? Yeah. Bury the electability argument in the dirt for anti-Israel sentiment, by the way. Every single W that we actually get, every single W that anti-Zionist candidates get, destroys that fucking argument. It takes away from the impact that AIPAC has in these races. Important lesson from these races. Unapologetically calling Israel's genocide in Gaza a genocide wasn't a liability for these candidates, but a reminder that they will boldly tell the truth on moral issues despite intimidation. Obviously, the same doesn't go for real. Hamawi is now plus 11 and winning every county except one. He smashed E-Day votes. Yeah, they're calling it the HasanAbi bump. When you come into South Florida to stump with Oliver Larkin, DNC just announced it plans to pour resources into Moscow so we can hold the seat. Florida 25 is about to become one of the most watched districts this summer, and we're waiting for a HasanAbi bump. Yes, I'm going to work on it. Endorsement checklist. After a 1-point loss in North Carolina and a disappointing night in Illinois, the left is starting to hit this stride in congressional primaries. Yeah. Oh, it's coming. Yeah. The 1-point loss in North Carolina with Nita really upset me. I mean, obviously, Kat Abu-Ghazaleh was like a long shot. Kat was obviously a long shot, right? And that was a tough race regardless. But with Nita Allen, I was really sad about that because like I genuinely think if I had done like maybe one more fucking event with her, or if I'd gone to her district or something, that would have been a victory. That would have been an easy wrap. Right? Stop cursing, bro. My dog is watching you. Why are you flipping me off? Your dog is watching you. Congratulations to Dr. Adam Hamawi on his landslide victory tonight in New Jersey. Dr. Hamawi will be a strong progressive voice in the House, and as a physician, he understands our healthcare system is broken and we need Medicare for all. Don't beat yourself up. Usually that's not how math works. No, 100%, bro. She lost by like a couple hundred votes. Nita lost by a couple hundred votes. That She literally told me the day of the election, people came up to her and were like, oh my God, I'm actually here voting for you because I saw you on the HasanAbi broadcast. Like literally. Megaphonics might need to get ready for that struggle session. Yeah, I don't know why he posted this emo ass shit, dude. Shoycott. Those were learnings, not failings. We still need to find a way to select one to coalesce behind the way that it didn't happen in Cat's Rays. I mean, that's not always going to work. Anyway, I know you're covering elections tonight, but we talk about Scott Pelley getting fired. I already did cover that. John Toffel says, if El-Sayed wins the nom, they will do this to him too. The elite Dem political class absolutely prefers Republicans and progressives. Say what you will about fighting fascism. At the end of the day, this comes down to capital and the maintenance of a corrupt, broken system. Absolutely.
Across the nation. But I think we have lost the plot on authenticity. I think Graham...
Let's not compare El-Sayed to Plattner. El-Sayed was an actual Rhodes Scholar, an Oxford-educated athlete and physician, Columbia University Med School, who served in multiple public roles prior to his campaign. Because the reality of the matter is, Graham Plattner's red flags would not fucking matter for these people. These people's job is to literally ass cover for horrible monsters, right? So Graham Plattner's red flags would not be even a remote issue. They'd be running around being like, how dare you fucking talk shit about an American veteran, you piece of shit, is how they would approach the Graham Plattner issue if Graham Plattner was pro-Israel and was saying shit like, oh, well, we need like a reasonable way to go about this healthcare situation, right? If Graham Plattner was a centrist, these guys, we would be attacking him, being like, dude, this is obviously of not sound moral character. Plus, also, look at all of his dog shit fucking policies. Who gives a shit if he's a veteran, right? Huffington Post, Adam Hamawi won the Democratic primary, a remarkable display of how pro-Palestine movement has grown politically, able to corral small dollar donos to give him a dollar lead and use super PAC support to get him over the finish line. Personally, I think supporting a genocidal apartheid state is more concerning than marital troubles, but maybe I'm just anti-Semitic or something. Yeah, of course. But yeah, the point that I was making is like, they are already doing this to Abdul too. I mean, they're doing this to fucking Adam Hamawi. Adam Hamawi is a stud. His background is perfect. Like, they're literally terror jacketing him shamelessly after he won the fucking primary. Like, the amount of filth that you have to crawl through to get a goddamn word in edgewise when you are an anti-Zionist and against corporate PACs and against corporate donations and against corporate control over the Democratic Party, it is unfucking believable, dude. The anti-genocide caucus grows. It indeed remains good policy and good politics. Yeah. Like, it's insane. So yeah, it's Graham Plattner has, background flaws or whatever, right? It's true. It's true. But those would never be considered fucking flaws if he was a regular centrist Dem. As a matter of fact, they'd be burying all this oppo. They'd be burying all this oppo with a mountain of counter messaging, and it would never be run on CNN and all these other fucking platforms. They would never do this. Okay, and the same goes for Hamawi. Look at what they're doing. And the same goes for Abdul El-Sayed. Abdul El-Sayed doesn't have any red flags whatsoever. He is star-studded in his background. Toby Doden. Sorry. And guess what? They still fucking say insane shit about him too. That's why they try to like tie him to me to be like, oh, he's bad guy. He's bad business. Hasan Piker, why are you fucking hanging out with that guy? He's a real piece of shit. Don't you know he's a fucking terrorist? You have Tourette's? No, I don't. The gap is crazy. Yeah, he's gapping. God damn, dude. Holy eyebrows, Batman. Yeah, this is the Ben Shapiro method. Is Abdul's primary tonight? No, it's not. It's in, I think it's in August. I don't remember, but